Its voice is a bit feeble. Means it's very low.
For others,
No,
It's audible.
it's clear.
No, it's
yeah.
clear, Puneet.
Yeah, for me also it is clear.
Okay.
Okay, now
So let's
now it's
start.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's start our Alpha Learners Day. So this Alpha Learners Day is being scheduled on 4th, 11th, and 12th Jan. And what this is all about, this is to bring financial freedom for retail investors. This is my mission here. And my vision is to change or bring a mindset change in the investors about investing and how Alpha Learners Day is helping us. So we are trying to do analysis of 50 companies in a year through these sessions basically. So these sessions are supposed to be held 3 to 4 times in a year as per the time availability or the bandwidth of the presenters. And we are trying to cover around 15 to 16 companies in a specific sessions basically. And apart from this, I also run Alpha Mentorship Program, which is the new batch is starting from January 25, where we are trying to solve the puzzle of psychology, behavior, ratios, valuations, balance sheet, technical charts. So it's kind of a comprehensive thing which we are trying to learn and keep on learning to crack the code of the markets. Apart from that, I have a website alphaaffairs.com where the snippets subconsciously prepare you for the investment world. So my email ID is also mentioned where you can approach me for any help regarding markets. So this is about Alpha Affairs, and these are the three modes where we are trying to help people. Now, what is Alpha Learners Day? It is specifically related to the investing part, where I feel that investing is a road which is less traveled by the people in the market. Most of the people are come to trading or FNO and other things, and investing is the road which is not very favorite for the people. Now, some of the retail investors have dared to choose this road, and this day has been created to support those investors and to make them more confident about the markets. They can believe it that they can crack the markets and to make them realize that they can stand with the bigger giants of the market. So many of the companies which we have presented in the last three sessions of ALD, some of the companies later on, big investors have got into later, right? Later point of time. And some of the companies have become 4x, 5x itself. So that gives a good confidence to us that we are on the right track as a group and we are trying to do the right things. And I hope ALD4 will take that uh, s- take that scope further for us to learn basically. So last ALD 1, 2, 3, as you see, it has been progressed to well till now. So before we start, let us appreciate all who are presenting today, and we wish them success in their journey. We'll try to keep the discussions to the point. We can always connect offline through the ALD WhatsApp group as well. There we can also ask questions. So for the presentation's sake, like 35 to 40 minutes we are keeping and 5 to 10 minutes for question and answers. And the other questions we can put in the chat or WhatsApp chat. Anywhere it's fine and the presenters will be answering there itself. And while asking questions, let's be critical but not rude about it. And if there is any break in between, be back on time. Be on mute while not asking questions could be the right etiquettes for all of us. So as you know, we have something like an audience time in between where we play fastest fingers first. And the rewards are there also for the audience in terms of books or the gifts or the vouchers worth 250 rupees. So today it's a small session. So audience time specifically would be coming on next Saturday, Sunday. Today it's a little bit different format for the audience in terms of polls and quizzes. So keep track of that. So that will be good if you participate there. So this is how ALD sessions are looking. We will be starting today, and our first presentation will be done by Pankaj. It's on IT, AI, or robotics. Second presentation will be led by Suraj on the renewables. Third is by Shekhar on the pharma, and the fourth one by the Rajesh on FMCG. And later on, once the presentations are finished, we'll have a quick 2 minutes audience polls and 2 minutes for rating for presenters. So that will conclude the session for today, and then we will reassemble on 11th Jan next Saturday, where Mithun and other people will take care of the other segments basically. Okay, so this is all about alpha learners. So I will hand over the charge to Pankaj to start, and let's begin. Pankaj, you can
Yes. Can you please make me as a host?
yeah. Yeah, I have given you the host permission. Can you check?
Can you able to see my screen?
Yes,
Pankaj.
able to see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, I will start with my presentation. So first of all, good morning and thanks to Puneet ji for giving this opportunity to present uh, another company. So I was the one who presented in ALD 1, 2, 3, and this is the fourth attempt which I am doing it. So company which I'm going to present today is the Kody Technolab Limited. This company is based out of Gujarat. Basically, they are the manufacturer of the robots and robotic solutions for the various industries. They are also into the software developments, app developments, and related IT services. Uh, so Kody Technolab is basically backed by the Kody Group, based out of Ahmedabad. So they are into various line of business from last 30 plus years. So as a group, they are not new to the manufacturing industry. So they are into the rewinder machine manufacturings. They are also into polypropylene plants, rubber rollers, and plastic related machine manufacturing in India. And they are uh, exporting these type of machines outside of India as well. Okay, coming back to the KTL, they are basically the IT solutions and IT service provider. So this is one of the line of business that they have, mainly specialized for the enterprise level projects, mobile application developments, known for their expertise for digital transformation, artificial intelligence, machine learnings, AI driven automations, advanced robotics. So robotics is their second arm of business. Until date, they have delivered 250 plus projects to the separate clients, to more than 30 plus countries. The company's commitment is to continue to set a new level of standards for customer engagement and intelligence automation solution worldwide. The USP of KTL mainly for robotics is their own in-house developed ROS, which is robotic operating system. It's their own developed system. So if somebody wanted to come as a new, it will take too much time to develop these type of systems. So they don't only make the body, which is the hardware part, but they also make the brain of the robots in-house. KTL is working on the futuristic domain, like as I discussed, artificial intelligence and machine learnings. And most of the teammates are relatively very young and passionate, along with the promoter. Uh, they have overseas subsidiaries. They started overseas subsidiaries recently in Dubai, with the name of Kody Middle East Holding Limited. And then they have the international presence in UAE, USA, Canada, and UK, mainly through their sales representation. Okay, the brief about the promoter. So promoter name is Manav Patel, who is basically the mechanical engineer by education. He went to US to study a lot of IT related languages. Considering the family background of more than 30 plus years, he decided to start with his own company, which is IT company, rather than joining to the conventional business what their family members are doing. So his age is roughly 27 to 20, 28 to 29 years. He's a very young and energetic promoter, which we feel. Uh, his father name is Subhash Patel, who is well-known personality in the Gujarat industries, as well as he has a very good connect in the governments. Manav basically started this company with ERP solutions, but he realized that it is not enough to scale this business. So he started the mobile app development, customer software developments as per the client needs. He travels abroad with so many with his core team members. Visited JATEX exhibition in Dubai maybe 2018-19 before Corona, and then after that he got a major jobs of food delivery app development from US clients. So many clients he got it during that exhibitions. Uh, so the vision of this gentleman is to make the robots of various industries, mainly for defense, and things are already getting started at the background. They have very good relations, contacts of Kody family within the industries, in governments. That will certainly help KPL to get breakthrough, and this will be a game changer for the company. So these are basically the IT services, and IT services. What they offer is basically for basically the staff augmentation, AI development, ML development, which is machine learning developments, mobile app developments, web app developments, quality insurance, emerging technologies, and IT consulting services. Uh, Last year, if you see their profit and loss statement, uh, all the revenue which has came to this company is all through these IT services. None of the numbers in that particular 22 crores is not from any of the robots. So we'll discuss more that in detail in the next slides. So these are basically the product that what they offer in terms of robotics. So they have these surveillance robots, advertisement robots, serving robots in the hotels and restaurants, heavy duty cleaning robots mainly for airports, defense, mainly for the government offices, big educational institutes. Another product which they have is the industrial robotic arm, which basically control the industrial operation. These type of robots might be used to serve the coffees in the restaurants or in the coffee shops. This product is relatively very famous in the US and Canada market because the labor charges or the employee charges are relatively very high. So if somebody wanted to install this robotic arm to prepare the coffees and serves to the potential customer, the ROI of this product is less than 6 months if we talk in terms of uh, US term. This is another product which they develop. This is what they claim is their first ever humanoid robots manufactured by anyone in India. So they claim that they are the number one manufacturer of lots in number one. They are the first one who started this in India. So brief about their robots. This is Audico basically for the smart advertisement robots. So these robots intent is to roam around within the big malls because the mall culture is getting up. So these robots are relatively smart, AI powered, navigations, self charge, and this can display like it's an interactive display screen in it, and it can navigate through the crowded space as well, which has automatic charging feature in it. Interactive display screen will be there, smart obstacle avoidance is there, AI navigation is there. You can control everything sitting in the store, and you can monitor this. So the benefits of this is to the mall management is optimize the operation, increase the foot traffic on the stores, enhance the customer satisfaction, boosted the sales opportunity, increase the store visibility. Some of the stores are inside the mall is on the extreme corner, nobody goes there. But if these robots are roaming around and if they can display some sort of offers or the products on these robots, then that can substantially increase the higher level of customer engagements. So benefits for this type of advertisements is enhance the campaign performance, increase the reach, real-time analysis which you can do, innovative additions, higher engagement, target advertisements, and seamless integration. This is the another product called Athena. These are basically surveillance robots which never stops, which generally use in the hi-fi societies, mainly the developed countries. So the benefits of this is enhance security and surveillance, real-time threat detections, improve the incidence times, advanced surveillance solutions, 360-degree ultra high definition recording will be there, and this precise AI-based people detections, live audio, then this automatic license plate recognitions. If some cars are coming inside the big community area where a lot of buildings are there, and they can detect which car is coming, what is the car number and everything. So they can track everything if anything abnormal happen. So centralized control is there and multiple unit integration. So you can integrate 5, 6, 10, or even 20 similar type of robots. And that can be centralized controls. These are the surveillance robots that can be used in the big events, uh, like political campaigns, or let's say some music events or some music concert. We can use that. Another product is the Vulcan. This is basically the autonomous heavy duty smart cleaning robots, which is effortless, efficient, heavy duty. So it improves the hygiene standards, effective high duty cleaning, reduce the infection list, effortless cleaning, optimum resource utilizations, automatic fill, purge and charge, easy for disassemble and assemble, digital management, automatic charging, and extended working hours. So basically, the application of these type of robots are for corporates, retails, government offices, industries, defense, healthcare sector, educational sector, as well as some transportation space. Just brief about the Dasher, which is the smart serving campaign. Most of the the developed countries has this type of robots nowadays serving in the big restaurants. So the key feature is that smart obstacle avoidance, centralized operating dashboards, AI-based mapping, optimize the table turnaround time, mall room operations, minimize the interruptions, enhancing the work productivity, enhance the satisfactions with precise and timely deliveries. So ROI of this type of robots is less than 1 year, mainly for the GCC and US and Canada based customers. Another robot is Telos and the Skanda, which I discussed. So I'll just brief you about the key development of this company. So they recently signed an MOU with the Platinum Group based out of Abu Dhabi for the local manufacturing of the robots in country. So basically, most of the countries are now focusing on the localization. So they might have seen the lot of potential in the market, mainly for GCC and Middle East, North Africa. And this Platinum Group is owned by the royal family based out of UAE. So they have started this new entity, and these robots will be made in UAE. So made in UAE will get an edge, and this company has more than around 60% of the stake in that new company, and 40% is still with the KTL. 100% when they started evaluating Kody Robotics or Kody Technolab, they might have done all the due diligence before they proceed. And they will be having more than 100 plus principals who they are serving. So they have very good political connect, they have very good market reach, they have very good team. So this Platinum Group can help KTL to expand their base and expand their offering further in this part of the world. So they already have an agreement to start the local manufacturing here in the country. This is one of the development. Number two is this is the one of the tweet which we see tweeted by the Mukul Patel. This is related to the One Prahari Garud projects. So this tweeted is dated 3rd of December recent tweets, and he tagged the Home Minister of Gujarat, Mr. Harsh Sanghvi, and telling that the forest protection is very important, and they wanted to use the technologies for forest modernization. And we, as we see the photos, we know that these are the Kodi people who has presented the whole capability. So that could be a game changer if these projects move ahead, and some part of the piece or majority part of the piece will certainly come to Kodi Robotics. Another development is that they recently signed an MOU with the Ray Nano Science and Research Centers, mainly for the development of the intelligence, uh, architectural drone design, which redefine the sustainable farming practices across the globe. So this is the next generation's farming solutions, which they wanted to give this to this company. So it's a MOU, and this will not only enhance the productivity but will also certainly contribute to the national vision to become a global leader by 2047. See, look like uh, very fancy, but as we move forward from developing nation to developed nation, let's say after 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years down the line, the company like Kodi will certainly get benefit out of it. This is what we feel. This is the recent development. KTL acquired the convertible preferential shares in the World EMS company. So this company will handle their major bulk productions of all the robots, because if they are targeting outside of country, so they will be requiring number, like it will be a mass production that robotic solution will be requiring. So maybe they will start with 5 robots, 10 robots as a preliminary, but once it reach to the approval stage and everything, they may scale up. So they will be requiring some companies who can do the mass production for these type of robots. So they recently acquired this World EMS. One of the development, they recently exhibited in GITEX 2024 around 15th of October. So they have displayed their products in one of the very reputed company based out of Dubai, based out of UAE, called Etisalat and this is basically providing the smart living solutions in the Middle East market. So they displayed their 2 to 3 robots in that exhibitions. So the intent here is that to provide the cutting edge robotic solutions for Middle East to focus on the advanced smart living. So this is basically the Odigo robots which they displayed. So this is basically the intelligence companion capable of understanding and responding to the human emotions in the real time, and ultimately creating more meaningful connections between brands and their customers. This is uh, 70 crore order which they got for Dashers, Odico, as well as Vulcan, and they have to deliver. They might have delivered this. There is no official notification from the company, but they might have delivered these whole orders in within 5 to 6 months of time. When we come to the financial of this company, I will explain more about what should be the impact of what is the impact of the 70 crore in the balance sheet. They recently appointed two additional directors. One is Mr. Pramod, who is basically the IRS officers of 1994 batch, which has more than 30 plus years of experience in indirect taxations. And another gentleman called Neeraj Srivastava, which is based out of Dubai. So he's a MTech from IIT Roorkee. He was a vice president and head of Middle East for Cognizant. He was a VP in Wipro for emerging market. He was a VP in Saudi and Bahrain for TCS, and he also chaired the JV between TCS and GE till 2018. So, okay, next slides. With the Neeraj Srivastav, they started this company called Kody Middle East Holding Limited, Kody Middle East Holding LLC, FZ. So they started this company in 24th July 2024. So 75% stake is with the Kody Technolab and 25 stakes is share capital will be subscribed by the Neeraj Kumar Srivastava, who is a IT guy who has a very good experience in the IT field. So these type of arrangement they have made because they wanted to penetrate furthermore into the IT and software development field. So this agreement will not be limited up to the IT services. This not limited up to the robotic solutions, but majoritarily it will cover the IT related industries and product services. I hope everybody is listening, right? I'm clear with the voice.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we are listening.
Yeah, very clear.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Another development company recently appointed new CFO. Again, ex-TCS guy, Mr. Neeraj Sanghvi. He came from, he is ex-CFO of TCS. Uh, why I'm sharing all the details with you because we see, the company is now into the expansion mode and they hired and they took a lot of people on their board and they will be making JVs, they will be making MOUs, they will be making a lot of, localization manufacturing. So we feel that, this is going on the next level. People will not like company will not invest in a very short period of time. They cannot invest. They generally don't invest, but if they see the potential, that's why they are going ahead. Okay. One of the thing recently the fundraise during May 20, 31st May 2024, they raised 98 crore rupees via the convertible warrants. So in that fundraising, almost 86 crore out of the 98 crore was participated and fundraised by the promoter itself. So if you see the notification properly, so Manav Patel himself invested 86 crore out of this 98 crore fundraising. He might have taken money from his family. I don't know, but if he is investing, it shows, it gives a lot of booster and confidence that promoter is uh, heavily interested and heavily participating in such a type of things. So it gives a big confidence booster to the shareholders, promoter vision plus execution capability, sectoral tailwinds, and scalability in the business. We feel that is a super combo. Okay, the price which you see here is 1,400 INR per share. So this is the price before the bonus issued recently. So the price, today's price is roughly 700 INR per share. If I tell you, if that bonus is, if considering the bonus is 1:1. So which gives a lot of confidence to the investing like shareholder, existing shareholders, like yes, if Manav is buying, something is big things are happening. Okay, this company KTL recently participated in Gujarat Police Expo. They displayed their humanoid robots with the uniform of police. Yes, again look like fancy stuff, but it will come to the market. They also exhibited in JITEX 2023. They got a very good response. So after JITEX 2023, you can see these type of developments which is happening, right? Hiring the new people on the boards, MOUs, local manufacturing, tie up with the local companies in the region. This is the India's first AI-powered humanoid robots, Skanda, which they displayed during the Vibrant Gujarat 2024. Uh, and these robots was chanting our god name Ram Ram during that exhibition, and that was the time when everybody is talking about the new temple in Ayodhya. So they utilized this and displayed through this robot. The YouTube videos are available on the net, you can check it. Again, the tech billionaires, Elon Musk has presented this latest prototype of humanoid robots being developed by his own company, mainly for the Tesla car manufacturing. So this will be a game changer for TKL, which is Kody Technolab. If Tesla has planned to set up something as a car manufacturing unit in India, most likely it will be in Gujarat or any other nation in any other states. but KTL may push these type of robotic solutions if somebody like this is coming to India. These are the futuristic robotic solutions which they are working on it. Mainly, I don't want to go into minute details. These are basically the aquatic underwater robotic solutions, mainly for inspections, marine research, underlying whatever the underground work is happening. So people cannot go full time. So these type of robots can go and do the inspection or necessary work. These are the robotic dogs, mainly for the defense industries. And I have personally seen these robots displayed in various exhibitions in this part of the world. These are the industrial robots, mainly to cater the various industries. This is basically the collaborative robotic solutions for various industries, which client is looking for, maybe packaging industries, maybe construction industries, maybe some manufacturing plant, maybe some controlling the mass production or line productions. This robotic solution could be useful. These are the customized drones, mainly for underwater explorations and marine research. These are the interactive advertisement robot, which I already discussed with you. So I can share some of the photos once these robots are here in the country. Some of the robots related to architectural fields. So these robotic solutions, for time being, it can be it or it could be used in out on the export orders, not immediately for Indian market, but certainly it will come to India after some point of time. These are the automatic mobile robots, mainly for warehouses and to manage the various type of inventories and warehouses. Airport specific robots to carry your heavy luggages and everything. So these are basically the development updates on the new products and futuristic robotic solutions. Market update about the sectoral tailwinds. So recently, the Dubai Industry Integrated Economic Zone Authority have an agreement with Aramex to launch the autonomous delivery robots. So this is in line with the vision of UAE as a country to convert 25% of the transportable system to be automated by 2030. So these are some of the live photos which I have taken. These are the Aromax robots which deliver the um, whatever parcel which they are getting from Aromax to the doorstep of the villas here in Middle East or in Dubai. So this national strategy for robotics arms to position India as a global leader in the robotic solutions by 2023, it's already drafted. So this is basically to actualize its transformative potentials of the Indian companies. The main intent is to drive the innovations, development, deployments, and adoption of the robotic technologies in India and outside of India. Make India as a global hub for the research, design, development, manufacturing of the robots and promote the large scale adoptions. So you can see this policy is being drafted, and the link which I already given, if you can Google it, you will understand more about it. And most of the robotic companies has given their inputs during this drafting period of this national strategy for robotics. This is the recent statement which we got from VP and General Manager of NVIDIA, Mr. Deepu, on 27th of October. So what he's telling is that robots could be one of the humanity's the greatest opportunity. When it will come to the picture, we will understand more about it, but this is what all the people are talking about. If Okay, in terms of market size of the service robots, is increasing roughly 19.53% of CAGR between 2020, 25 and 30. We see a lot of potential is there in such a type of domain. Certainly there will be competition. There will be lot of things which is coming from China as well. But the issue with the China is that it's a matter of trust, privacy of the data, and language barrier. So we feel that Kody can take substantial piece of these markets going forward. Okay, these are the financials. So current market cap of the company is around 2,000 crore. Current price is around 1,570. So this is the price after the bonus issued, which is 1:1. Current P is around 140. Uh, ROC is around 28%. ROE is 23%. Promoter holding is 73%, which gives a lot of confidence amongst us to ride this journey. A debt to equity is around 0.15. These are the recent number. This is basically the comparison of H1 2024 and H1 2025. So in H1 24, the sale of the company is around 5.7 crore. It has jumped from 5.7 to 339 crore, which is roughly 7x jump. Right? Net profit was 80 lakh. It was jumped to 10 crore, which is again 13x jumps. EPS expanded by 11x, and they recently issued the bonus as well. So IT plus robots plus unmanned vehicles, drones, many more futuristic products are ahead. So we feel that it's a big giant is making. It's stuck. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is the recent bonus which they issued on 9th of December. So the share price is split, like share price is almost half of the earlier price. 1:1 bonus. Yeah. These are the financial projections and growth estimate. So there are some basis of putting these numbers here. This is purely a guesstimate. We may be wrong. Uh, so the sales of this company in FY 2024 is a 22 crore. And all these 22 crores are came from the IT solutions and IT services. These 22 crore doesn't have any numbers of robotics, right? In 2025, in Q1, the company got a 70 crore of order, which they officially announced. So we feel that most probably in furthermore 3 quarters, it could be 70 crore more as an order, including the IT services, right? Considering 25% as a PAT, uh, it should be 35 crore PAT they should be presenting. So with that calculation is roughly 2,800 crore is a market cap should be there by the end of FY 2025. The current market cap which we discussed is around 2,000 crore. So going forward, if this continues and whatever development we discuss, if it is getting materialized or it getting converted, so we see these are the optimistic number which we are presenting. So estimated sales and estimated PAT numbers are there. Okay. Coming back to the consideration of this number is the long-term visibility, business visibility due to the sectoral tailwinds and industry tailwinds. They are mainly focusing on the futuristic sectors. Company is at nascent stage. P and PEG ratio look like higher side, but it will certainly come down with the future growth. Our projected number are considering the till date developments within the company. They already taken the space, working space in Gift City, Gandhinagar. So they have hired a lot of people to cater the requirements. Revenue increase from ongoing developments, more focus on the export orders through US manufacturing. They may rent these type of robots, so rental could be one of the potential business that they may start. They will also focus on a lot of after sale services, mainly for their robots and IT services. Robotic business having massive scales if we compare that with the IT business. That's why they made the JV with that local manufacturing, one manufacturing setup in India and one manufacturing setup in UAE. We are extremely bullish based on the business model, overall manufacturing setup, visionary leaderships, promoters, and their hunger for the exponential growth. They may focus more on value-added products, which is basically the big volume based, like robots and other new industries like defense. Uh, in short, it's a one-stop solution for all the solution that customer needs in this type of business. To conclude this, young promoter having hunger to make the differences and supportive system around him, around Kody, will certainly get the results. Coming back to the technical charts, look like, uh, it will give you the breakout. This is basically the pole and flag patterns. It may or may not touch to 1200 level, but it will be it will be hockey stick growth after this. This is what we feel. This is the important tweets which Puneet recently tweeted. Until you see the 3x in your portfolio, you will not realize the importance of holding the stock tightly. And of course, it starts with the basic assumptions that position sizing is correct as per your portfolio. So these are the real things which we are experiencing. And a stock has become 10x before it becomes 50x. And the stock has become 3x. It has before it becomes 10x. So this is very important message which we got from him. Again, the same my favorite line of Peter Lynch: investing in a stock is an art, not a science. People who has been trained to rigidly quantify everything having a very big disadvantage. It's by Mr. Peter Lynch. This is we think that these big bulls are just gearing up. And if you have any questions, happy to discuss. Before that, I missed to give the disclaimer. So whatever I discuss right now is only for educational purpose. It's not a recommendation or something. It's for our own purpose, our own study. This information may not be accurate or up to date. And this is the today's price which we discussed after bonus. Market cap of this company is around 2052 crore. Yes, and then our buying price is roughly from 2000 crore INR. So we feel that this company will be a trusted, yeah, 200 crore. We started buying this company from 200 crore market cap. We feel that it's a trustable partner for all the innovative solutions which people will be requiring. So, okay. In a summary, Puneet, I have time, right?
Yes, yes.
1 minute.
Yes, you-
1 minute. Okay, so in a summary, skin in the game, promoter quality, 73% promoter holding. During the fundraise, promoter invested 86 crore, right? Solid business family background, well politically connect, strong financial background. There is a scalability in the business. Uh, when we see their exhibition, the type of exhibition they exhibited in Vibrant Gujarat or here in Middle East, mainly for Jitex. Very good quality of brochures, business cards, exhibition stalls, marketing material. We feel that they are here for a longer period of time. They are not here for a shorter period of time. Young energetic promoters and young energetic management team. People working there, we cross check with so many people, like it's a family environment altogether, and they are working, all the employees are working like their own company. Recent development: new CFO hired from XTCS, new independent directors came from TCS, Cognizant, Wipro. Entity established in Dubai in last 1 year of time. Office established in Gift City in Gandhinagar. Acquired manufacturing setup for production scale up. MOU with the platinum companies. So these are the recent development which happen in 1 year of time, right? USP is to sell the complete solution, not only the robotics, right? So it's a hardware plus software. futuristic products, artificial intelligence, machine learning services. New products are under development. Entry to the futuristic robotic solutions. First ever who manufactured the humanoid robots in India. Substantial increase in the sales numbers. Company is into the nascent stage, but into the extremely exponential growth trajectory. So long way to go. Thank you so much.
Wonderful presentation, Pankaj.
Thank you.
So, so it is before bonus, right? So the warrant price would be 700 for them, or it is 400?
Sorry?
Warrants price to the promoters
1400 was the one when they raised this fundraising
before bonus,
before
right?
bonus. Before bonus,
So it
yes.
was 700, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So other question was on the debt receivables. It is high. So two people have asked this question. So do you see it's a issue in the company, or it will solve going forward? Basically, receivables are stuck or they are increasing for the company.
So it's under the developing stage. So yes, we will not see the financials as we expected, but going forward it will be streamlined.
Thank you. One more question from Deepak is how they are able to cope up with the global landscape like Korea, China, Japan. They would be so advanced in the robotics, right? China part you have explained. It's a
Yeah.
trust issue, but how Korea and Japan they will be able to handle, because certain other things like data privacy and security compliance will also be pushing up the
Yeah.
competition and the challenges for the company.
See, to answer this question, I always say, the cake is very big. Everybody will get some part of it to someone, and KTL will try their level best to get it
Mhm.
through connections, through marketing campaigns, uh, proving their creditability in the market, strategic collaboration, localization. So that can leads to the taking some more market shares.
Mhm.
See, one more thing which I forgot to discuss. The promoter is telling, like, if Apple, we can see the Apple products everywhere, like, particularly in the developed countries, most of the people are carrying Apples. So why not Kody robots wherever there is a requirement of robotic solutions? So, it's just a start. We need to give some time for the company to perform. Yes, there will be certainly a lot of questions and a lot of things will be in our mind, but just give us some time, because company has done substantially well in terms of development, and we will see the numbers how it goes. But look like, at least 3 to 4 years we have to give, and to see what's development is going on quarterly basis.
Yeah. So regarding the export order, 70 crores, which they got
Yes.
recently,
Yes.
from which company are you aware of that?
I am not aware about it, but I think look like it's from export market,
Mhm. Okay.
because
Last
these,
question.
these these people are relatively conservative. Not they don't willing to disclose everything, because a lot of people are there, the competitors are there, so they want to keep most of the things confidential.
Yeah. So last question before we hand over to the next one. So are they planning to jump into the medical technology surgery field through this? Any idea about that?
As of now, I don't have any idea, and the company has not given any presentation on any of their platforms. Also, they have not done any sort of investor meet. So I don't have any answer to the question right now, but I will certainly try to dig out.
Sure.
But look like immediate. I don't see their plan is that, because the things which direction they are moving, I don't see that they are immediately planning to. Yeah.
Puniji, this is Suraj here.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, robotic Kody here, they are here to provide tailor-made solution. I mean, you can give any kind of problem to them, they can make robots for it. So basically, they can explore lot of things in this robotic sector, like education robot, delivery robot, and military robot, defense robot, something like this. I mean, they can also explore this medical robot also if some
If opportunity-
tailor-made inquiry and opportunity is there.
Yeah. Definitely. I think by Neeraj joining them on the software side looks like a good opportunity because it will help them to have this embedded systems of software, hardware, and
Yeah.
robotics
If
together.
someone wanted to explore more about this company, you can find out a lot of YouTube videos on this robotics, how it works and how it could be a game changer going forward.
Mhm. Yeah. So thank you, Pankaj. So
Thank you,
wonderful
sir.
presentation. Good start to ALD. Thanks for your taking up the first lot. It's never easy, but you came up with a nice presentation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
So Suraj, you will be presenting from the same.
Yes.
Same, yeah.
Okay, sure. You can take it over.
Yeah.
So other questions, people, you can ask in the chat, or maybe you can put on the WhatsApp, and the presenters will be there to answer you as well.
1 minute.
Yes, we are able to see your screen.
Am I visible and audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I think this is my first, second, third, fourth ALD presentation, and thanks for the opportunity, Puneet. Today we are discussing one of the company KP Green Engineering Limited. It is basically one-stop solution for sustainable renewable energy infrastructure and heavy engineering. So basically, we can say we can consider KP Green Engineering as a proxy play for solar, wind sector, green hydrogen, green ammonia, electricity transmission, railway and road infra, industrial construction, and data center. So basically, for all this sector, KP Green Engineering can play proxy role. We can discuss it further. Current market cap of company is 2739 CR. Current market price is around 548. We started buying from price 438 or 440. So before going ahead, standard disclaimer for me. We are discussing this company as a educational purpose only. There is no buying or selling recommendation. No one can directly go and buy the company by looking at presentation. Everyone responsible for their own profit and own loss. Basically, before taking any kind of company, we have to measure criteria like promoter quality and his vision. And second is sectoral tailwind of that company. So KP Green Engineering is a team of innovative brain under the flagship of CMD Dr. Farooq Patel. Leadership teams bring rich experience and proficiency to our business and leading to company to the next altitude. We have seen KP Energy Limited, KPI Green Energy Limited. It is a listed company, and all have proven in terms of numbers and make goodwill for the investor. They have another company also, KPF Green Hydrogen and Ammonia Technology. One of the companies, Sundrop Energy Private Limited. This company will also come on exchange soon. Sundrop Energy Private Limited. So, considering legacy of Dr. Farooq Patel's vision to expand beyond the geographical area, to expand himself from Gujarat, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh, and some initiative he has already taken to go to international levels. So I feel this promoter can make wonder for KP Green Engineering Limited also. He can grow this company very well, and he can make money for the investor. KP Green Engineering Limited, it is formerly known as KP Buildcon Private Limited. It is a flagship company of KP Group. Dr. Parag Patel started his journey with KP Green Engineering Limited in 1994. Then he converted into private limited in 2001. KP Green Engineering is basically focusing on sustainable renewable energy infrastructure and heavy engineering. Heavy engineering sector like renewable energy sector, transmission sector, and telecom sector, they are catering. Company proposed to build one of the large capacity 90,000 metric ton per annum hot deep galvanizing plant, which is automated and encapsulated. Uh, Thereby, they will enter themselves in the road and railway infrastructure sector also. Basically, this hot dip galvanizing plant, they are uh, making in Gujarat area basically. KP Green Engineering Limited offer diverse array of solution under one roof. This expand will feature cutting edge equipment including deep galvanizing plant, machinery for drilling, welding, laser cutting, plasma operation, high speed solar production. KP have a presence across the multiple product funding application in diverse industry. Uh, Commitment to their sustainable and innovative solution in various sectors including fabrication, galvanizing, solar and wind energy, telecom infrastructure, power evacuation infrastructure, pre-engineering building, and many other infrastructure related application. Current when company got listed, their capacity was 53,000 metric ton per annum. Now their existing capacity is around 106,500 metric ton per annum. One of the plant at Matar location at Gujarat, it is 294,000 metric ton per annum. It is in expansion phase. 90,000 metric ton per annum plant capacity expansion in hot dip galvanizing plant. So they have 17 product currently, category 17 product currently. These are the unit one of KPGL at Dapsha location, where they manufacture lattice tower, substation structure, in isolator structure, hot dip galvanizing unit is there. At second unit, they produce solar MMS structure, crash barrier, cable tray. At unit 3 at 4, that is capacity is around 14,500 metric ton. Solar columns and piers for tracker, they are doing it. This unit 4 motor location, that is under construction phase, expansion phase. So uh, they have planned to make tubular wind tower, overbridge bridges, monopole, power transmission tower, pre-engineering building, metal beam crash barrier, lattice tower, power transmission tower structure, cable tray, earthing strip for this plant. And hopefully this plant will be operational by Q1 of FY 25, 26. Sorry, 20 FY Q1 of FY 26. So KPGL basically one-stop solution for this renewable infrastructure. You can say uh, they can they can cater to transmission sector like transmission tower. They are into wind park, high mast crash barrier, mobile tower, railway crash barrier, solar park, pre-engineering building. They cater to basically this sector: renewable power transmission, telecom, railway, urban infrastructure, construction and infrastructure. Their current product is solar module, wind power, wind lattice power, metal crash barrier, solar rooftop, optical fiber fault rectification, galvanizing work, pooling substation development, telecom tower structure, transmission line structure, substation structure, isolator, HV disconnector, cable tray. Then their proposed product are windmill, tubular tower, transmission line tower, high mast full, heavy fabrication, gratting, free engineering building. So the solar module mounting structure are basically used in solar industry. Company offers solar tracker to in this sector. Lattice tower structure typically associated with traditional windmill design and are essential for providing structural support to the mechanical component of windmill. Substation equipment structure, whatever the substation equipments used in substation, they need a structure and support. KPGEL make it. Transmission line towers which use in transmission, distribution and generation sector. Isolator and HV disconnector structure. KPGL have one of the facility to make these isolators also. They are into cable tray. These are some glimpses of their tower, monopoles, crash barrier, then windmill tubular tower, pre-engineering building, substation structure, railway electrification. They are providing some smart light poles for railways. High mast pole and other structure for stadiums. Then high mast pole for this railway infrastructure sector. So basically, we'll go to market share. I mean, market outlook. First, transmission sector is there. So in transmission sector, government of transmission sector is set to expand from 485 circuit kilometer in 2024 to 648 circuit kilometer by 2032. For that, government has planned around 9,150 billion cost of Indian rupees. So it will be approximately 9,15,000 crore market for transmission network infrastructure. There's heavy shortage of transmission network infrastructure in India. If you can go and Google it, KPGL provide transmission tower structure, substation structure, insulators in this area. Generally, transmission tower constitute 30 to 35% of transmission infrastructure cost, 10 to 15% cost for substation infrastructure. If we consider overall 40% cost, which comes around 3,66,000 crore market for this structure in India up to 2030 2032. If KPGL able to capture 3 to 5% of market share, it's clear 11,000 to 18,300 crores of business opportunity for KPGL for next 6 to 8 years in this segment. This is only about transmission tower sector. Then if we come to renewable energy sector, country aim to achieve 500 gigawatt of renewable energy installed capacity by 2030. And out of that 500 gigawatt capacity, 100 gigawatt government has considered for wind power sector. Out of that, 70 gigawatt for onshore wind and 30 gigawatt for offshore wind. Other is for Other is for solar power sector, roughly around 250 gigawatt, and remaining is for biomass and hydropower sector. Basically, we can see here Andhra Pradesh sets target to generate 72 gigawatt renewable energy by 2030, and KP Group expanding from Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan to Andhra Pradesh also here. This wind power projection, Union Cabinet approved 1 gigawatt offshore wind energy projects in Gujarat and Tamil Nadu with total outlay of rupees 7,453 crore. The project has completion deadline of 48 months. I mean, for 1 gigawatt of offshore wind, 7,453 budget is there. If we consider this graph where government is uh, planning for 30 gigawatt offshore wind and uh, 70 gigawatt of onshore wind. Then for offshore wind energy, 30 gigawatt target, 2,23,592 crores of estimate is there. For onshore wind energy, 70 gigawatt target, 3,85,000 crores of estimate is there. So total wind power project cost is around 6,08,000 crore with 35% of structure cost for offshore wind and 25% structure cost for onshore wind project. For onshore wind, structure cost is around 78,000 crore and structure cost for onshore wind around 96,000 crore. This much of opportunity is there for KPGL to tap. KP Group KP Group set targets of 10 gigawatt green energy project by 2030. It's for KP Group, and KPGL will supply 25% of steel structure required for solar, wind, hybrid transmission substation project. We can break down the potential opportunity for the KPGL. For 10 gigawatt target, include combination of wind, solar, hybrid project and transmission infrastructure. Cost estimation per megawatt for the project. I have discussed with people who work in this green energy infrastructure project. So wind energy project is around 5.5 CR average per megawatt cost is required. Solar energy sector around 3.75 crore per megawatt. Hybrid projects around 4.75 crore megawatt. And transmission substation, for simplicity, we can estimate 1.5 crore of megawatt based on typical transmission infrastructure cost. So out of this 10 gigawatt, if we assume 50, 30 and 20% split between wind, solar and hybrid project, it's around 5 gigawatt for wind, solar for 3 gigawatt and hybrid project 2 gigawatt. So keep for overall KP group, KPGL will supply 25% of steel structure. So this is the breakdown of KPGL revenue by project type. So overall, KP Group can have opportunity of 63,250 CR. Out of that, KPGL can get work of 15,812 CR for next 6 to 7 year. Above revenue consideration are only for KP Group. Direct business from other clients are not considered here. These are estimate for KP Group only. If we see, 1 minute. If we see India will need more stadium considering upcoming Olympic and craze for sports in India. So in 2036, Olympic is planned. It is basically by Indian and Gujarat government, and Gujarat government will play important role in this infrastructure sector. So structural steel work and this high mast pole will use there. India smart stadium market is growing by 26%. So KPGL can cater this sector for providing their high mast tower. these are some glimpses I have taken from Google. Now there are different stadiums are building to across different area in India. Recently, you can say Saudi Arabia having FIFA World Cup in 2034. And KP Group foray into Saudi Arabia. They have signed agreement with Murmur contracting for renewable energies project. So KP is expanding into Saudi Arabia also for renewable energy project. And I can connect the dots that lot of stadiums are made by this Murmur Group in Saudi Arabia. So KP may try their hands there also and use this FIFA World Cup opportunity. Hot dip galvanizing steel market is growing by 6.1% from 2030 to 2023 to 2032. Hot dip galvanizing steel is a corrosion resistant material created by immersing steel in bath of molten zinc. So hot dip galvanizing provide uniform coating thickness and promoting longevity and reducing maintenance costs. This method is commonly employed to safeguard steel structure such as building, bridges, pipeline in various industry. Considering the growth of construction industry also, this dip galvanizing steel can be used in huge demand. KPGEL is quoting that their galvanizing plant, hot dip galvanizing plant, is Asia's largest uh, plant as per their comments. Indian Indian highway are growing. Railway infrastructure is also growing. Need a crash barrier of need a crash barrier for it. Uh, we can talk it as a cattle barrier to it also. So KPGEL will play huge role here. Use of pre-engineering building increasing which save cost and time. Indian industrial market is growing. Pre-engineering building get huge money in offshore. KPGL playing big role here in pre-engineering building, making pre-engineering building. Client base and vendor approval. Company hold accredited vendor status with esteemed organization like Discom, engineering and telecom companies. Inca government, semi-government, public sector and private sector like BSNL, EIL, Mahatransco, GNFC, Jetco. We can see moat in KPGL. Actually, in manufacturing, we don't see any moat, but here, considering legacy of listed company of KP Group, approval time and timely delivery is a critical in this industry, and one doesn't want to risk with new player. Also, all products under one roof help OEM to rely on KPGL. So I consider this as one of the moat. And Dr. Farooq Patel itself is a big moat. His contact, connection, skin in the game. It is one of the moat for the company. Few developments like capacity utilization. Current capacity utilization is around 40 to 50%, with expectation to reach full utilization as demand increases. New facility at Motor expected to significantly enhance production capability. Some strategic initiative like exploring inorganic growth opportunities. However, no immediate plan for acquisition are in place. They can go for some inorganic growth like hiring some transmission infrastructure company or make strategic decisions. Then they can go for taking uh, furnace metal company or something like this to as a part of their backward integration to enhance their PAT. Plan for global expansion with potential interest in market like Middle East. Are collaborating with international companies for technology and advancement and product development. Margin and product mix. Current margin are stable with EBITDA around 15 to 16% and PAT is around 10 to 12%. This PAT can increase further with their strategic moves. Management aim to maintain existing margin while exploring opportunity for improvement based on product mix and customization. Some strategic initiative, I have already discussed this. we can see order book 1.37 plus gigawatt cumulative green energy energized, ambitious target of 10 plus gigawatt by year 2030, history of wealth creation by KP Group. They have already secured US export order for solar tracker. They are L1 bidder for key railway infrastructure. By going through their concalls of KPEL, KPGEL, and KPI Green Energy, very soon KPGL order book will be more than the current market cap. This is the estimation. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, this is the estimation derived from all the data available in the market. Current orders in hand, that is 600 crore orders in hand. Internal orders PO will come soon. In KPEL, they have 1,000 to 2,000. No, in KPGL 1,000 to 2,000 crore order in pipeline, which have cleared by management in their con call. That is outside of KP Group order. It is not from KPEL or KPI Green. It is outside order. 1,000 crores of order come from KPI. That 20% of current order book 5,000 crore order of KPI. 670 crore from KPEL. 520 crore from KPEL. That is 20% of 2,600 crore orders. KPL bid pipeline includes 1.57 gigawatt of orders expected to materialize in net 3 to 6 months. That order size will be approximately 2,500 to 2,600, which will come to KPGL 20 to 25% share. Other revenue stream also in pipeline. So huge tailwind we can see here. If we see financial data, the total by year on year, their total income, total sales rise from 156% YOY, PAT 150% YOY, EPS 79% YOY increases. Promoter having 66.59% holding, public having 33% holding. The financial stability liquidity boost, that as current ratio improved from 1.547 to 2.03. They have reduced the debt to equity ratio dropped from 1.12 to 0.51. These are the result of H1 FY24 versus H1 FY24. We have seen big jump, above 150% jump in revenue and revenue. Their H1 FY25 non-current asset, that is fixed asset, has grown by 153%. Financial projection, we'll see. In FY24, their sales was around 349 CR and PAT was around 35 CR. 10% PAT margin we have considered. Their current market cap is around 2,800 crore. If we see in this yellow color, these are the estimated value. So considering all order book and their current expansion of mutter plant, their revenue can be 750 crore by FY25, 1,650 crore by FY26, and 3,000 crore by FY27. With 10% of PAT, we can see 15,000 crore market cap for this KPGL company. This FY27 can become, they can make it by FY28 also, but I think they can make it by FY27 considering all the strategic move, tie-up, acquisition, inorganic growth. The PAT percentage may increase here with some strategic moves. Number depend on timely executions here. Note these guesstimates are from our own understanding. No buy or sell recommendation here. Consult your financial advisor before taking any kind of call. If I see technicals here, seems 500 is a bottom trend line support in consolidation for longer time, considering strong fundamentals, all the strategic move expansion, their revenue will surely increase, and at the end price is a slave of your number. So definitely if they break this consolidation period, it will be huge rise in the price. Now we will discuss main part of summary why KPGL will plague bay. It is ATEX capacity expansion from 53,000 metric per annum to nearly 4,000 4 lakh metric ton per annum. This is going to complete by Q1 FY25, and some of the plant from Matar also they will start from March 25. Tailwind to green energy, huge work ahead in solar and wind energy. Subsidiary will share work with KPGL for structure, wherein 25% of order value of sales are easily possible. 300 crore PAT possible in next 2.5 to 3 year. 7,100 crore MOU already signed by KP Group with Gujarat government. Orders will flow from it. Mr. Farooq Patel is a visionary leader with solid background for green energy plus reliable management. Some business type happening in Saudi Arabia, huge business possible. 50 gigawatt wind energy plant under bidding stage, which is very near to KPGL facility. This is a game changer. Whoever gets this plant, KPGL can get big structure work share here. Here, what will happen considering their strategic location in Gujarat, where this 50 gigawatt wind energy plant is there. KPGL having their KPGL having their facility, and whoever get work there, they can easily consider to take these structures from KPGL, considering saving of transportation cost and all, so that they can that company can also increase their bottom line by saving the cost transportation cost. Lots of new telecom projects in pipeline, road infrastructure projects, data center project, use tailwind for prefab structure works, technological advancement. KPI emphasizes adopting cutting edge technology like single axis solar tracker, bifacial solar tracker, and AI driven robotic cleaner to maximize the efficiency and energy generation. KPGL will get huge work for green hydrogen infrastructure too. KPGL having uh, KP Group having own green hydrogen and green ammonia company, so they can get a structure work for this. Other businesses like companies like Bondada, Oriana can also share structure work to KPGL newly expansion unit because of good business relation with Mr. Farooq Patel in the industry. Recently, Mr. Farooq Patel have participated in preferential of this company Bondada also. Use transmission sector tailwind, get them shares in transmission tower infrastructure, substation structure. They are bidding for railway electrification work also. Geographical diversification to Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Rajasthan, reduce reliance on single geographical market, mitigating risks associated with regional policy changes, resources availability, or demand fluctuation. Expanding into new territory will unlock access to wider customer base. KP Group also put their offices in Oman right now. So they are targeting to this international market also. Major business in Gujarat for renewable structure work. Sorry, Puneet, are you talking something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Major business in Gujarat for renewable and structure work. So even this current government BJP lose at center, KPGL will continue to get work in Gujarat for next 10 to 15 years. So no fear of government change here. Now we have seen all the positive sides of this company, of this sector, and will see key risk and challenges here. Dependence
Suraj?
on infrastructure spending. The
Suraj.
challenge, the company revenue heavily relies on government infrastructure projects such as highway, railway, transmission system. Any
Suraj,
delay or budget cuts in government spending can impact its order
eh,
book and cash flow.
Suraj, this is Amar.
Yeah.
I think you are slightly stuck on that financial projections. I think you have gone ahead. Can you reshare so that we see the current slides? Right now, I'm saying financial projection on my screen.
1 minute. 1 minute. Are you able to see now?
Yeah, now we are able to see.
Can I repeat this this
No,
KPGL why
we
it will play big?
we have listened to it, so you continue from the point you were there.
Okay. Now we will these are the points we have discussed right now why KPGL will play big. These are the 13 important points. I can share this presentation. Puneet will share it. Key challenge and risk here. Dependence of on infrastructure and spending. Uh, Company revenue heavily relies on government infrastructure projects such as railways, highway, transmission system. Any delay or budget cuts in government spending can impact the order book and cash flow. Economic downturn or shift in the government priority could reduce the demand of its product. High competition. The market for structural steel, high mass lighting, crash barrier, pre-engineering building are highly competitive with presence of well-established player and regional competitor. Price war and the need to maintain the competitive pricing could erode the profit margin. Project execution risk. Here, to get the work is not a challenge. I feel considering KP Group legacy and the name of Mr. Farooq Patel. But the main challenge is in execution. Any delay in execution will affect their further orders. Execution can be delayed by land acquisition issue, regulatory approvals, logistic challenges, penalties, cancellation of contracts, compliance and regulatory risk. Infrastructure projects are subject to various environmental and safety construction. Non-compliance could result in legal action, project delay. Innovation pressure require continuous technological advancement to stay competitive. KPGL also working on this. They are looking for some technology partners. They are already in process. Raw materials volatility, steel price fluctuation could pressure margins. However, management confirms steel price volatility is managed through hedging and contract terms that allow the price adjustment. Environmental and social risk. Production and installation process may face environmental and social concern like emission, land use, community protest, and all. So mitigation strategy can be here by KPGL. Wait. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we are able to see. We are able to see.
1 minute. Yeah. So mitigation strategy, company can consider a diverse the client base and explore the international market, which they are doing. Hedge of raw material price risk through long-term contract and strategic procurement. That management has already confirmed on it. Strengthen the cash flow management to handle the payment delay. Invest in R&D to stay competitive and adopt newer technology. They are in discussion with lot of technological partner in Hyderabad in Middle East and Europe also for this R&D technological investment enhancement. focus on operational efficiency to maintain margin despite of competitive pricing. So they are focusing on operation efficiency by some backward integration moves, some strategic collaboration to make the facility in at strategic location in Gujarat. So these are the key risks and challenges for this business. So thanks for the time, thanks for the listening. I feel everybody can go through this video again and take a call based on their capability and understanding. There is no buy and selling recommendation here. So I am open for question and answer.
Thanks, Suraj, for presenting. So
Thank
one
you, Puneet.
question from the chat is on the any project from the green hydrogen or ammonia which they are doing, KPGEL.
No, as of now, I don't have any data or idea for this green hydrogen or ammonia.
Okay. Thank you. So
Yeah,
floor
hi,
is open.
Suraj.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah.
Suraj, thanks for this presentation. Just one query on innovation pressure. See, what kind of pressure do we, see in terms of, innovation for this? And won't it be applicable to all the players? Plus, if they get any breakthrough in the innovation,
Mhm.
say for example, it should be standardized across all the, this industry or the sector. So they get it to, patented where somewhere to get it recognized
No,
that this is
that is
innovation.
that is what I am saying. Whoever will do the innovation, they will get first more advantage.
Okay.
Like they are exploring some opportunities in smart poles. Basically, now lot of smart cities will build in India. So in railway electrification work also, smart pole they have already supplied to this Rajasthan government. So they are building that kind of innovation.
Smart poles.
Smart poles, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm not able to understand exactly, but if you check on Google, there is AI and IoT devices used is there in wind energy and solar energy. So some innovations and technological advancement are going up in this sector also, in wind energy sector basically.
Yeah, there was an article for this, this automatic IoT enabled wind energy, and they
Right.
start it all. It was on purely on, this electromechanical thing. But in
Yeah.
terms of, risk, innovation is it could be added advantage if they want to foray into this. But
Okay.
what risk it is means first.
You can say it is a one kind of added advantage.
Yeah.
I just consider it as one of the risk actually.
Okay.
Yeah, you can consider it as added advantage if someone have that
If they
innovation.
innovated something, uh,
Mhm.
this, then it could be this. But innovation risk, yes, they can be, quick to adopt
Mhm.
what is getting into the industry like this, IoT for,
Mhm.
wind
Mhm.
turbines and all this. So this is already into, field play. But this needs to be checked. This innovation
What I,
pressure.
what I mean to say, in this structure manufacturing and all,
Mhm.
uh, we can see some automation, robotic and IoT development in manufacturing facility. That kind of innovation I am considering here. Not on the field innovation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Probably more technological advancement would be the key term, that how
exactly.
they are doing
Exactly.
their operational work more, automated way and more, sophisticated manner. This could be,
Right.
a way. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. You're right.
See, sir, Pankaj here. See the type of innovation they will certainly do, because they are increasing this capacity by 8x manufacturing capability, right? if you see the facility which they are manufacturing or which they are building, it's a world-class facility with all these latest technologies and innovation in terms of manufacturing of those products. Number one. Number two, one of the age of the company is that, they are manufacturing Asia's second largest galvanizing plant in one of their factory, which nobody has in India till date. Certainly, if somebody wanted to plan such a big manufacturing setup, like, 8x capacity we are talking about, so they will certainly do their best to manufacture this factory as per the international standard, as per the latest innovation in the manufacturing sector, which they will do it, which has all the international certification in it, like EN and US and other things. So they will do their best to put most of the innovative ideas and innovative solutions available in the world in those manufacturing plants.
Yeah, agreed. Got it. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
No, it's worth looking. Thanks for this insight, Suraj and Pankaj. Got it. Yeah.
Thank you.
One more question, Suraj, for you is what is the capacity utilization if we have those numbers available?
I'm not able to hear, Puneet. Can you?
So, any capacity utilization numbers you have for the company?
Capacity, currently it is 45 to 50% capacity utilization is there.
Okay. Yeah, so we have no
Yeah.
more questions on the chat. Anybody has a question can ask. We have still have 2-3 minutes. Okay, so I don't think we have any more questions, Suraj, for you. So in case anyone has, they can put on the chat and we can
Sure.
answer it.
Sure.
So
Thanks for
thank
the
you.
opportunity, Puneet.
Wonderful. So we'll move to the next presenter, Shekhar. So Shekhar ji, you are here.
Hey, hi, Puneet. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Let me share my screen. I remember last time when I was sharing the deck, I had challenges here and there. Hopefully this time it will be smooth. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, we are able to see.
Okay. Oops, sorry, what did happen? You can still see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
For some reason, I can't see on my, this is strange.
Okay.
Let me share again. I'm going to stop and restart. Reshare the screen. Sorry. Okay.
Yes, please.
Good morning, everyone. This is Shekhar Kadiala. If we have not met before, my handle on the Twitter is Learning11, and I also run a Telegram group for research reports. The group name itself is Research Reports, in case if any one of you have used it before. So today I'm going to cover a company which is somewhere between pharma and chemicals. But before we get there, just wanted to set the context for why we are discussing about this particular company. Typically, I think in the past, one of the most common phrases that we used to hear is that markets always factor in 6 months ahead of time, right? Whatever is going to happen 6 months ahead of time, the price starts reacting accordingly. Which is where they say technicals are the leading indicator in some cases. However, if you observe the last couple of years, it is more like, just not about 6 months. It's in many of the names, it's factoring in 2 to 3 years. Like, I think Suraj was talking about KB Green. And then if you just notice some of the names in that same sector, the transmission sector, you look at Oriana, you look at Bondada, they were multi-baggers. But for the last 5-6 months, they have gone into the deep consolidation. not because they are bad companies suddenly, but because they have factored in so much that now essentially market is waiting for the actual earnings, right? And the fact that most of these are SMEs, the results only come once in 6 months, and hence the consolidation period is usually a little longer than a name which is on the main board, where the reaction time is 3 months. And hence now what is happening is, if you happen to choose a right company, which is in the momentum, you get a quick instant returns within 4 to 6 months window, followed by a consolidation period until the next set of earnings show up, and which is again when probably the stock price will pick up. For example, Bondada or Oriana or many of these names, maybe once the annual results pop up, if the results are exciting, then naturally they'll probably start their next leg. And hence what is happening in most of the names is that they're going through, after a quick run, they're going through significant amount of consolidation. And during that consolidation, if any bad news comes, then it's a downhill. But if a good news pops up, it will start the next leg, right? So we are talking about one such company which is on the downhill side. Now, what this also made, I don't know how many of you have faced this, but I certainly experienced in the last 1.5 years, is that the churning in the portfolio is going up, right? Because you get a quick 1x, 2x, 3x, and then suddenly another sector or another name pops up on your screen where multiple guys are talking about it. Like how Suraj was talking about the potential of KP Green, PAT could be like a 10x sort of a PAT in the next few years, and hence market cap could be huge, So naturally, the moment you see a name like this, typically what happens is I'll start comparing that with one of the existing names in the portfolio, and then probably pull out the least preferred name and then probably add KP Green as an example, right? Assuming I have a conviction in the KP Green. So that sort of a churning is pretty high right now compared to what it used to be pre-COVID days. In pre-COVID days, typically we used to think that if I could make a doubler in 2 years, it's an awesome thing, right? And I'm pretty sure there were many investors who made doubler 6 months also, but by and large, most of the retail investors used to be happy if you get a doubler in 2 years. But now we want 3x, 4x in 6 months. And hence we don't have the patience for maintaining the portfolio stocks. But if you look at Punit's portfolio, he is a classic example of how he sticks to the stocks and keeps accumulating when the price is at the right range, to create a big multi-bagger. So this is the company that we are going to talk about. In my humble opinion, I do believe is one such company where if you give it a 5 to 7 year window, could be a big player, right? And hence this particular quote that you see on the screen, that there are certain companies where you give them time. So now when we talk about how churning has become a little more with the investing world, and then how things are getting factored in too soon, too early, then how do we choose the companies which we believe we should give 5 to 7 years of time, right? I mean, not every company we can give 5 years of time. So I think while there is an abbreviation that you could see, abbreviation is thanks here if you see from bottom to top. I mean, forget about the abbreviations because almost all the presenters come up with some fancy abbreviations to garner the attention. But the long story short, if you come across a small company with great management, when I say great management, they should have the expertise in the domain that they're working, plus a vision for a 5-year sort of a window at least, where they're anticipating and they're preparing themselves, they're setting the company up, they're investing money in identifying the new products, so on and so forth. Plus, while doing all of this, while doing the capex, while doing the research, while identifying the best talent, they are still maintaining a clean and lean balance sheet, which is where typically run issues pop up, right? You might have a great company, but huge debt, company will not go anywhere. So if we are able to focus on companies which have these 3 characteristics bare minimum, a small company with niche products, excellent management, and a good balance sheet, there is a very good probability that will probably fit into a long-term sort of a story. With that said, the company that we're going to discuss today is Shree Ganesh Remedies. I don't believe this is a surprise name. I'm pretty sure all of you would have heard about this name before. We will touch upon in a bit more detail. And why we are discussing today is because of the price range that it has fallen down to, where it is looking attractive. And then, who knows what may happen down the line, 4 or 5 months, if it falls another 20%, then it's like a, sell your house and buy the company sort of valuations. But before we get into the pricing part, I'll cover a bit of technicals also towards the end. What are the accumulation points and how does it look like technically right now, etc. But this name, the moment you hear about Shree Ganesh Remedies, the first thought comes to the mind is that it's a pharma company, right? So, but in my opinion, it's more of a chemical name than a pharma name. Why? Because if you look at the pharma value chain, there are companies like Sun Pharma, etc., who are into the formulations, and then there is APIs, intermediates, key RMs. And I mean, we know all this, right? I mean, if you have invested at least in one pharma company before, you would know the value chain. No big secret here. So Shree Ganesh, mostly they do their work in the intermediates, right? I mean, would they get into APIs? I mean, there have been talks about getting into APIs in a full-fledged way at some stage, but when that will happen, that is up to the management. But predominantly they are in the intermediates, and which naturally means it's more of a chemistry. Why? Because intermediates is where all of your reaction technologies will put into the place. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, for those of you who probably have not studied pharma in depth, end up, any medicine that we look at, right from paracetamol to any other, medicine, it's a combination of certain chemicals, right? The difference is that when we buy, for example, a plastic bucket or a plastic water bottle, we don't look for a picture perfect shape, right? But if you go to a showroom, a shop and identify 5 different buckets, there is a pretty good chance that not all 5 of them will be exactly in the same shape and form, assuming they're manufactured from the same guy with the same material, right? Why? Because the precision in a day-to-day utensils is not expected to be great. But the same precision is extremely critical when you are getting some chemicals together for a pharma purpose, because it's a regulatory space, right? And hence the chemistry that we are talking about here is a precision chemistry. I mean, we talk about precision engineering and all of that. Likewise, this is more of a precision chemistry. And then they're backward integrated as well in most cases, right? So, which is the reason why I'm calling this as a chemical company, because they are into specialty chemicals, they're into fine chemicals, and even the pharma intermediate that manufacturing, it's basically chemical reactions. The various processes we talk about in the pharma, halogenation or oxidation or reduction. If you put together the different chemical reactions that take place for manufacturing medicines, there probably will be somewhere between 10 to 20, the most common ones. And Shree Ganesh is there in a good chunk of them, right? So that is their skill set. So let's quickly glance through what this company is, and then we'll talk about, how does the future look like. This is said, a little more than 20 years old company. While they were listed a little later, but the company started 20 years back. They started off with a very, very small work in the initial days, and then they started gradually expanding. It is located in Ankaleshwar, and there is a new facility that is going to come up soon at the Dahej, which basically those are the pharma hubs there and chemical hubs. So at the Dahej, they have taken large amount of land. The work has not started yet. I mean, when I say not started, they are not building the facility and all. They're more of in the planning stage at the Dahej. Why it is at the planning stage is because they are talking to multiple large customers, and their plan is to have a customer-centric shops. For example, if you compare this with an IT company, you look at Infosys or you look at TCS, if they have a large campus, right? I mean, Infosys, TCS are known for having large 50-acre, 100-acre campuses. But then within that campus, they have a dedicated blocks for different customers, right? What we call ODCs, offshore development centers. So likewise, what Shree Ganesh is trying to do at the Dahej is to build different blocks for different customers. So what this means is, when this is said and done, it might take 2 years, 3 years, but when it's said and done, it will have customer exclusive blocks at the Dahej. That's their plan, right? And how they're thinking about it, I'll come to that maybe on the next slide. So like I was saying, their core business is manufacturing the intermediates. Plus, they also have, they're focusing a lot more on the specialty chemicals. And then naturally, whenever you are having intermediates and chemicals, then you will look for CRAMS opportunities. And these guys have executed a very large CRAMS project last year, by the way, which is what resulted into that great profitability. We will touch upon this point again, maybe a couple of slides down the line. But they do CRAMS. So they have more than 40 products. 70% is more on the pharma side. The chemicals have started only in the last few years, because it originally started up with pharma intermediate, and hence why you find more pharma products. But if you look at their recent push, it is more towards chemical side, specialty chemical side. A good chunk of products, and there are obviously top products which are getting more revenue, and then they also have certain products which have a bigger market share. I mean, that's a pretty niche for a company of this size, right? Multiple products with 50% sort of a market share. Why? Because they focus on specific chemistry. They try variety of reactions within, for example, halogenation. I mean, for the benefit of those who probably have not heard about halogenation before, it's essentially working with halogens. I mean, if you remember your periodic table in chemistry, the chlorine, fluorine, bromine, iodine, some of these. These are the different elements with which you try binding reactions, right? I mean, if you recall, in the last couple of years, fluorination became a hot topic because there was a new binding agent, right? Fluorine is seen as a new binding agent. So Shree Ganesh also is in that space, for example, through the halogenation reaction. Likewise, there is oxidation, there is reduction, which is about, reducing the electrons and increasing the oxygen, and vice versa between oxidation and reduction. So again, I'm not here to preach pharma, and I don't want to pretend that I'm a pharma expert. I'm not, but a little bit of reading that I did because I was interested in this company. So long story short, it's a pretty niche for this company to have a good market share in some of these products, because they put a lot of energy in doing R&D in the same reaction again and again and again. So they're getting that finest possible of reaction approach, right? How are they doing it? They're doing it through solid R&D team. They have almost 25% of their team. Shree Ganesh's team is R&D team, R&D and process team, right? That is pretty unique. I mean, you don't really come across small companies where 20-25% of your headcount is working on the R&D and processes improvement. So one of the reasons why I was calling this company a specialty chemical company is you look at their growth. I mean, specialty chemicals was less than 30% a couple of years ago. Now they are 40%. But their ambition over the next few years is to take specialty chemicals to 60%. Why? Because getting that reaction chemistry is not so easy. I mean, it needs a skill, and hence it has a higher margins. So for example, the CRAMS project that I was referring to earlier that they executed last year, that gave them brilliant margins, which is why if you look at the EBITDA margins for this company on Screener, I have not, by the way, one disclaimer, I have not included any of the information that you find on the Screener on this line because it's waste of your time. I mean, the moment you open Screener, you can quickly glance through. So no point for me to put all of that and consume the space. But just referring to Screener, if you look at their EBITDA margins, they have touched 40% in one of the quarter, and they've been 30% plus consistently last couple of quarters. Why? Because of the CRAMS project, right? So that's the difference. Before that project, the CRAMS project that they executed, you look at their margins, they were somewhere around 26-28%. So just one CRAMS project bumped up their margins literally by 500 to 600 basis points, which is phenomenal, right? So which is why the management is more focused towards going to specialty chemicals, because it is a higher margin product. I'll again touch upon the margins, in the couple of slides down below. Now, how are they positioned with respect to their customers? I mean, if you look at the last bullet point, their clientele is pretty good, right? I mean, you have some of the best names from chemicals and pharma, like Lonza, BASF, Lores, and there are many more names. So to most of these names, these are not the core supplier, right? I mean, this guy, SGRL is a typically third supplier. In some cases, they're probably second supplier as well. But their goal and ambition is to become the second supplier. How would you become second supplier? Right? For example, let's say I am BASF or I am Lonza or I am Dr. Reddy's, right? And you are coming to me as SGRL and saying, hey, look, Mr. Reddy, I want to be your top supplier, I would only consider, not that I'll give you right away, but I'll only consider if I look at, after looking at two things. One, that you have a pretty niche capability. And second, you have the scale at which you can supply to me. Because if I'm ready, so I'm talking about 500 tons, 1,000 tons sort of a requirement, right? I'm not going to be happy with a 5 ton, 10 ton, 20 ton sort of a scale. That's not good enough for me. So those are the two key things that any customer will look for, any large corporate customer will look for in their suppliers. The niche capability and the scale, which is where essentially, coming back to positioning, which is where Shree Ganesh Remedies is investing. I mean, they have solid R&D team. Like I said, more than 20%, 25% of their team is R&D. And then they are building the scale. We will touch upon that scaling part on the next slide. So they are expanding their scale, and hence now they are getting themselves ready to be able to have those meaningful conversations with their customers to be second suppliers. And things change dramatically when a good chunk of your customers, you upgrade yourself from a third or a fourth supplier to a second supplier, because the volumes and the orders that you get are significantly larger, significantly higher. And then talking about the market and overall their window and opportunity, they are obviously exporting to multiple countries. In fact, it's more of an exports-driven company than a domestic company, right? Which is already a good thing. In fact, that's what contributed to a slowdown as well. I'll talk about it on the next slide. But those are the slowdowns which are always happen every 2-3 years. I don't think we should worry too much about it. But the good story is that they are well-regarded export company already. Moving to the next slide. So where is the future story coming from? Like I said, one is they're focusing on the specialty chemicals, but within the specialty chemicals, their objective now is to go multifold. As an example, they used to supply 10 to 15 tons per annum sort of chemicals in the past. They have now come to 60, 70, 80, even to some customers up to 100 tons per year sort of a number, right? Which is almost like a 4 to 5x from where they were a few years ago when they initially started the specialty chemicals vertical. And now they are talking to customers with an ambition of supplying 500 tons per annum to a single customer. So if you look at the scale, who were at 15 to 20 tons per annum to 70, 80, 90, 100 tons per annum sort of a thing, which is the current scenario. And their goal is to hit 500 tons per annum sorts, which is like a 5x, right? Now, would it happen overnight? Obviously, it won't. Like I was saying before, if I'm Reddy's or if I'm BASF or if I'm Lonza, I'm not going to give you overnight. Obviously, I'll take my time and then I will give you such large contract. But the moment one such contract or one such customer starts giving me, the game changes for me. I mean, that's the reality. That's how the companies have evolved. That's how you look at some of the popular names like Laurus or Newland, some of these names. Obviously, they're in a different business, but just as a relative comparison, that's how they were smaller names, and then they built up the scale, and then they went to a different league altogether. I mean, Divi's goes in the same fashion, right? I'm not saying Shree Ganesh will become Divi's tomorrow. That's not the intention here. But the point is that they are ambitious and they're working towards it, and they've proven it. A few years ago, 10 to 15 tons to 80 to 90 to 100 tons right now, and their ambition is again do another 5x from here, right? So that's their focus area, and they're working towards it. They're talking to multiple customers as we speak. And I spoke about Dahej being a site where they'll have a dedicated block. So for example, let's say they're able to get one customer to supply 500 tons or 600 tons per annum. They'll set up a separate block at Dahej for that customer. So that's their game plan, which is why they have procured Dahej ahead of time. Already payments are made. They have started the basic work. But the hardcore construction will start once they're able to get some sort of a buy-in from customers, right? They're not going to spend money just for the sake of spending the money. And I already mentioned about a good chunk of money goes towards R&D, which is pretty unusual for a company of this size, by the way. So the current setup of how they are is, like I said, they are at Ankaleshwar. There are 8 blocks. 7 blocks have been in operation. 8th block came up recently. The current utilization at block 8 is just about 20-25%. So it's going to pick up soon. And then they also have the plans for block 9, block 10, block 11, and all of that. And they don't have any challenge with the land. They already have enough land there at Ankaleshwar, right? So it's more about as they see, expansion possibilities, they'll keep bringing up the new blocks. And most of their blocks, they do a turnover of 2.5x, which is a pretty decent number. But the difference is that every time they add a new block or they do this, additional volumes, operating leverage will play out because they are not investing in the technology anymore. Technology is proven for them, right? Which is why if you see the margins, that's how the margins have gone up over the last many years. Now, one thing that I wanted to highlight was you look at the, how ambitious management is. You look at their fixed assets in about 8 years ago, and you look at their fixed assets right now, substantial difference, right? And I'm not implying that, they'll do another 5x of fixed assets for the next 5 years. I don't have any information, honestly, right? But do I believe that, when you look at fixed assets, when you look at their focus towards specialty chemicals, when you look at their amount of money they're spending on the R&D, all of these multiple pieces are indicating that management is ambitious, they are focused, and they are targeted. They are not randomly expanding, they are quite focused, right? And then you look at the last part where I said they have enough land at Ankaleshwar, and then they have acquired a significant land at Dahej. And Dahej site, like I was saying, the specific dedicated blocks will come for the large customers based once their inquiries are done and once they have some sort of LOI. So when I put all of this together, the amount of money you are spending on the R&D, the dedicated focus you have on the reaction technologies and specialty chemicals, the growth plans that you have with which you are acquiring the land, or you are planning for block 9, block 10, block 11. So, management is thinking 5 years ahead of time. And hence my confidence is if you actually wait for those 5 years ahead of time, you are probably looking at a completely different company. Right. And of course, the other part that I mentioned about was the CRAMS, which they executed one project really well. And they actually have another project in their hand right now. And the next one I will touch upon on the next slide. Yeah, so here. So, the question is, if the company is so damn good, why is the stock price falling, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure this question is on your minds. It was somewhere at 930, 940 middle of the year. And then it is now hovering around 650. And in fact, it even touched below 620 a few days back. So what really went wrong is pretty straightforward. It's a open secret. It's not a secret at all. It's open information. So management did their first con call recently, and where they categorically said that FY25 will be flat, right? And when you do a bit of a deep dive to understand, is it flat because there is a structural issue, or is it flat because of a one-time reason, right? Because that is important. Every company will slow down. The reality is no company will ever keep going to Northeast. Every company will slow down. The difference between we holding on to a company which has slowed down versus not holding on to that company is about the reason, right? If it's a structural reason, the sectoral headwinds, or the company made a mistake, or company did a bad investment, then naturally ideally you will come out. But if it's a reason that is beyond the control of the company, that's more of a overall headwinds, then your thought process will be different, right? So that's where the Shree Ganesh falls into the picture. So they have executed a large CRAMS project, like I was saying, that gave them good top line and then excellent margins. And then a follow-up CRAMS project was supposed to be executed in the second half. That was the expectation in the Q1, and which is why the stock price went all the way up to 900 plus, because there was the expectation that just like a CRAMS project that they executed in the second half of FY24, they were going to execute another CRAMS project in the second half of FY25. So which is why the market perception back in March, April was the second half H2 will be much better for SGRL than H1. That was the expectation. So keeping that expectation in mind, market gave the valuations. That's why it touched 940. But then that project that they were supposed to execute got delayed. It got pushed into FY26. So my best guess, most likely second half of FY26. And that's where the stock price started corrected big time. And I think it will remain probably in the similar, range for the next few months. And also the other point that I mentioned is the margins, which came to them because of the CRAMS project, is now expected to come back to 28%. But I'm a bit conservative, so I've taken 26 to 28% sort of a range. But management said it will be around 28%. Right. So these were the two reasons primarily why the stock prices come down. So if the stock price is down, CRAMS project is delayed, should I be investing, or, should I not focus more on the other sectors which are in the momentum? For example, EMS is in momentum, or transmission space is in momentum. Should I not look at those? Why should I waste my time, and why should I lack my capital here, right? That's the typical question nowadays most of us are asking ourselves. So which is where the point that I mentioned earlier, that there are certain companies where you play the momentum. There are certain companies where you hang on to them for a reasonable amount of time in your portfolio because you have a pretty strong management with a niche capabilities and excellent financials, right? So this falls into that bucket of, at least for me. So the price is at a very good range right now, and it is quite possible that with the volatility that we'll continue to see this year, it might be available at 600 plus or minus 10-15 rupees here and there. Or if there is extremely bad week that hits all the capital markets all around the globe, it might even fall well below 600, right? For all that we know. So that's, to me, is an excellent price for this company for a long-term holding. And then I touched upon the balance sheet part. They have very low debt. You look at their return ratios, ROC, ROE, ROCE, their growth. Obviously, the growth this year is going to be flat, but if you look at their last 10 years growth, 10 years ROCE, 10 years ROE, all of them are 20% plus. I mean, very rarely you'll get a company that is consistently maintaining the return ratios 20% plus. Very rarely you'll get that too at this kind of a size, right? And then their future growth, management has categorically repeated multiple times that the future growth will be through accruals because they are generating good cash flows now. For the last 4 or 5 years, you see the cash flows are good. So what typically means is that management has a vision. They are putting their pieces together, like acquiring land and doing more R&D and working with the customers to increase the ton per annum. And all of this will happen with a good return ratios, with a good, even if you take 28% as EBITDA, good 28% EBITDA margin, and through internal accruals, which means your balance sheet will continue to look good for the next few years as well, right? And then one important point which I wanted to highlight is the management, right? Typically, any small company, it's all about management. I mean, we can talk about the return ratios, we can talk about the accruals, we can talk about plenty of other things, but it all comes down to the management. If management is good, the company will grow. Management is bad, company will fizzle out. So in this particular case, management is excellent, in my humble opinion. So for example, the promoter, the founding promoter, did his course in pharma. So he has pharma background. And both the kids who are part of company now, they studied chemistry, chemical engineering, right, in their grad. And then after studying the chemical engineering, one son went on to do masters in chemistry, I think somewhere in London. And then the second son did MBA and moved towards finances side. So that doesn't happen by accident, right? If I am the founding promoter, I don't accidentally say, okay, hey son, you study chemistry and do masters. Hey boy, you study MBA. It doesn't happen randomly. It happens because there is a plan that I want my kids to run this company and run this company quite well. And they have a long 20-30 year window to grow this company, right? So both the kids who are going to be the future of this company have chemical background. And then one of them is taking care of your strategic on the financial side. The second one is taking care of the day-to-day operations and the product development, right? So they have that domain in a planned fashion. And then we talked about the R&D part. I don't have to repeat again. And then the current capex, which is in progress, like I said, the block 8 has come alive, and they're looking at block 9, block 10, block 11, 3 more blocks at Ankaleshwar project. So you look at some of these, they themselves will contribute to At their peak, of course, they'll contribute to about 70% from the FY24 numbers, right? Now, will it happen in FY25? Obviously not, right? I mean, that's the whole point. Because of the slowdown. So once the markets pick up, when the demand picks up, then they already have enough capex done. Now, one question that might come to some of your minds is, hey, they have done the capex, the sector has slowed down, or their customers have slowed down, so could it not impact? It would, ideally, if they have taken debt, right? If you remember Sudarshan Chemicals did a lot of capex at their peak in 2021. And then by the time their capex was done and they were ready to roll out and ready to start, productionizing, the demand died down for all the pigments. A horrible death sometime in, Q3 of 21. It was so bad for Sudarshan Chemicals that, as they could not see demand recovering, at least for the following 4 or 5 quarters, sometime in 23, I think, they sold off one of land parcels that they had in Pune, if I'm not wrong, to pay off the debt because they were not able to deal with the debt. So typically that happens if you take debt and you do capex and then there is a slowdown. Whereas in this case, that's not a challenge at all because they are doing it through very clean balance sheet. And hence, even if there is a temporary slowdown, that shouldn't really impact Shree Ganesh. But when the recovery starts, these guys will be sitting in a damn good position. And then, one question that I asked myself that how many times management does their first ever con call, and then one other thing that they say is, hey, look, I'm sorry, my top line will be flat this year. My margins will drop by 500 to 600 basis points. You don't really see. I mean, typically most small companies, they do their first con call when they wanted to give all wonderful news so that, there's a pump up and energy in that stock price. But these guys were pretty honest. I mean, that's a good sign that management is not here to worry about 1 year's market cap or 2 years market cap. Because nowadays what is happening is most of the promoters are focusing on their market caps. I mean, you look at the number of QIPs happening and before the QIP prices ran up, we hear all sort of stories, right? But you don't find that piece at all in this particular case. And then the reason why the stock price has taken hit is, like I was saying, the CRAMS project. They did CRAMS for 2 quarters last year. This year that got postponed, and hence there is a volatility. This volatility probably will continue, to be honest, right? I don't think this is going to end in 1 year. This volatility may continue until they get certain sort of a scale. And the scale will come as they are able to, pursue their customers where they're doing a lot of inquiries right now. If they're able to get a few more large customers, then they'll have a minimum scale, which will guarantee certain amount of EBITDA percentage above 28%, which will guarantee a minimum growth year on year, so on and so forth, right? Now, I don't want to compare just for the sake of comparing, but in 20 and 2021, this is where Newland used to be, right? Quarter to quarter volatility. So one big molecule, a couple of good quarters, and then the work is done. Then now you are left with nothing else. The next 2 quarters are done, right? So again, I'm not saying Shree Ganesh will be a 10x, 15x from here. In my humble opinion, it probably won't be based on what we are seeing right now. Whether it will be a 10x or a 15x, that depends upon how many large customers they are able to acquire and build the blocks at the Dahej and all, right? But do I see this to be a good, solid company in the future? Of course, yes. But don't want to give a false impressions that just like what happened to Newland, in 2 years, 10x is possible. No, Shree Ganesh is not going to be a 10x company in 2 years. Could it be a 10x company in 5 years? Maybe. Right. And then the good thing about now compared to where, when I started my investments in Shree Ganesh, which was last year, is that they have con calls. Last year, for example, when I invested, I presented this company in one of the Hyderabad offline meets last year, and just to have one simple slide of information to be presented at that event, I had to dig through so many different reports and so many different threads just to find out one slide worth of information, because these guys were not doing as detailed information as they started now, right? So that's not an issue right now because management has committed that they will do half-yearly con calls going forward. So which is a good thing. At least twice a year, you will get to see the progress of how things are moving, right? So those are my at least thesis points in terms of why I wanted to consider. Now, just if you allow me 1 minute, and then we will see the charts. Sorry. Yeah. So now I come back to this particular framework of what are the companies that we could hang on to for multi years into the portfolio without having to worry about churning or booking the profits. A small company. Management has the domain expertise. They're all chemical engineers. And they are working on specialty chemical reactions, and they're focused on those specific 10, 15 reactions. They're not worried about solving the world's hunger problem here, right? They're just focused on building their expertise in the specific reactions, which are more common. Like I was saying, halogenation or oxidation or reduction, some of these. And then the market size in chemistry and that too chemistry for pharma is unlimited. Because every single medicine, every NCE that comes up, every improvement in any medicine is all about different chemical reactions. How you bring together multiple molecules and bind them properly so that it stays that way. That's all the chemistry is all about, right? And these guys that is their expertise, reaction chemistry. And then they have plans. You look at their sites that they have in place, their work, they are always thinking 4 to 5 years ahead of time, and which is again proven by the fixed assets that they built, as well as the ability to improve the margins and ability to keep the ratios good, well above 20%, and ability not to increase debt on the books, right? I mean, you look at all of this, management is always forward looking. So that's where I believe that this company fits into that framework. Will this company give you a quick 50%, 60% returns in 6 months? No, I don't think so. Unless, of course, dramatically tomorrow something changes, they get a brand new CRAMS project. I mean, we can't build our investing philosophy based on the assumptions. And hence, I don't personally believe we will see a quick 50, 60% returns in 1 quarter, 2 quarters. But could this company be a portfolio company, a good, long-lasting one in the portfolio? I strongly believe yes. And I do hold some position. As a disclaimer, this is not a recommendation by any means. I just wanted to give you the basic crux of why to look at this company. The good thing is there is a very well articulated investor presentation that they have uploaded in November when they did the con call, and their annual reports are also pretty detailed. So scan through a couple of annual reports. So when I decided to invest in this company a year back, I did multiple annual reports, and I was able to see the connections between the annual reports, right? Whatever I said 3 years ago in terms of where I wanted to be, 3 years later, if I am seeing those evidences in the current annual report, which means I'm a trustworthy management, right? I mean, which is what at least I had seen, but obviously you have to do your own judgment. We have covered all of this. Okay, so this is where the technicals are. This is the weekly chart. You look at the weekly chart, essentially it is right at that support levels. Will it hang on there? Will it break it down? Anybody's guess. But the current support level is a pretty strong one. This is a weekly chart. And likewise, this is the monthly chart. And on the monthly chart as well, it is at a perfect supporting part. Which is where I'm continuing to add in chunks. If I don't have Shree Ganesh, and after reading through Shree Ganesh, if I'm interested to add this company, I wouldn't add overnight. I wouldn't really complete all my allocation at one go. I'll define certain ranges based on the charts, and every time it falls into, excuse me, every time it falls into that ranges, I'll keep adding, because I don't think the price will run away in the next few months. I think price will be in the similar range. That's my 2 cents. That's pretty much, thanks for listening to me for more than 30 minutes, I guess. If you have any questions, happy to answer.
Hi, Shekhar. Sridhar here.
Hey, Sridhar. Oh, you are also here.
Yeah. Excellent presentation as always. I just have a couple of questions. Okay. One is, see, any chemical company, we always have a China overhang. Okay. Of course, the specialty chemicals will insulate them to certain extent, but considering their major products, do you have any idea about what can be the potential competition from China, at least for the near-term visibility? The second question I have is, I have been looking at the screener. Their OPM percentage or EBITDA percentage is at an all-time high at around 37% or something. Is it sustainable?
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Let me answer the second question first. There'll be a quick one. No, 37% is not sustainable. The management has given a guidance of 28%.
Okay.
Right. So it is, I mean, the reason why the OPM had gone up to 37-40 is because of the CRAMS project that I was referring to, where they had brilliant margins. So the second half was also supposed to be equally good because the follow-up CRAMS project was supposed to be executed in the second half. Unfortunately, that got pushed down because of the slowdown in Europe. I mean, many of the companies, automobile companies and chemical companies have been talking about the slowdown in Europe, and that has hit Shree Ganesh as well. So if and when the CRAMS projects come up, for those quarters, the margins will touch 37, 38 probably. But otherwise, overall, management's guidance is that for the lean quarters, the margins will be about 28%. I mean, the EBITDA will be around 28%. Which is why the price is now correcting, because market now understood that margins won't be 30 plus, which is why price is getting corrected. Now, going back to the first question from China, I don't see much of a competition here. You are right. China could disrupt the chemical space at any point in time. But that happens in a volume game, right? I mean, companies like Aarti Industries may have a pain, or Vinati may have a pain, or some of these which are manufacturing chemicals at a larger volume, at a larger scale, which are more of a combination of generic in nature. That's where China can disrupt and destroy the markets anywhere. But where Shree Ganesh is focused on is they are not into pure play chemical. They are into chemical for pharma, right? So, and hence their focus is more on the reaction chemistry, which you can't do at a volume just for the sake of it. A lot of research goes into it before the correct binding or correct chemistry is accepted by the customer. A lot of R&D goes into it. And hence, if tomorrow, even if a brand new company comes up, it's going to take some time for them to be able to work with the customer to get to some sort of a formula in terms of what is the chemistry that is going to be used for a given intermediate. It's going to take some time. And once you have taken the time, once you build that relationship, once you are into 5 years, 7 years with that customer, very, very unlikely customer will change it from you because, no one takes chances with their medicines, right? I mean, once the proven chemistry is there, they'll stick to it. So that way, in my opinion, the chances of a Chinese player disrupting Shree Ganesh's chemistry is very less. I can't say never, but very less.
Okay. Thanks, Shekhar. Thank you.
Hello, Shekhar sir, this is Mithun.
Hi, Mithun.
Hi. My understanding is Shree Ganesh is getting CRAMS into opium-based products, where they wanted to specifically dominate the neurology segment, basically. And that is the most specialty. Do you
Correct.
know any other company who is factoring, as in who is getting into the similar product lines in India?
No, honestly, I don't have the answer for which other companies are doing it. But just to add on to what you said, Mithun, is so Shree Ganesh is specifically focused on neurology, antidepressants, oncology. So they picked up the top 4, top 5 pharmaceutical needs of the human beings, and that's where they're focused on, and which is where they're building their chemistry. But I don't have honestly the answer. But it's a good question actually. Let me also try to search around. If I do come across any names who are doing in the similar space, I will pass the information to Puneet. He can share with all of you. But good question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So I think I probably did not highlight this in the presentation. So let me just spend a minute. You look at the current world health story, right? I mean, the number of cancer patients is going up. The depression, antidepressant tablets are probably the highest sold in US, multi-billion-dollar market. And the neurology is probably the science that is still not, broken enough. It is still a mystery to the human scientists. So, these are all the places where you have a tremendous amount of need, both for the new research as well as even for the existing patients. So Shree Ganesh has strategically chosen these specific areas to work on the intermediate. So which essentially means that, as unfortunately, I'm not going to take any pride in saying, but unfortunately, as the cancer patients count keeps going up, the need for depression keeps going up. I mean, in India, 20 years back, when I was in my 20s, depression was a term that you would hear only in novels. Right? I mean, most of us didn't even know what depression meant. Maybe it was the family structure, maybe it was the friendship we had, maybe it was the kind of games and sports typically that our parents or grandparents have taught us. It could be multiple reasons, but depression or cancer, none of these were really big things. I mean, cancer to me was how a movie hero gets in a movie and dies at the end. I mean, that's how I remember cancer, right? But unfortunately, you look at the situation now. I mean, the kids in the 10th grade, kids in the 12th grade are talking about depression. I mean, we could do a coffee cup discussion of blaming the parents and school system and all that, but the reality is that, these are no longer alien words, depression or, cancer or any of this. And also the number of patients who are going to the neuroscience institutions have significantly gone up. I mean, 20 years ago, I don't even know I ever come across a hospital which is specialized in the neuroscience, right? But now practically every multi-specialty has a block for neuroscience. So some of these are unfortunately becoming the need of the future. And Shree Ganesh has, put itself into these specific areas and these specific intermediates. So that's a strategic part, if you ask me, right? So please keep that in mind as you read this company. I can't see the chart, but if there is anything else.
No, I think there is no other question in the chat.
Okay.
Shekharji, there's no FII or DII investment in the company.
It's a small company, Mitesh. That's actually you brought up a good point. This is a low float stock. So
Okay.
very small company, and hence it doesn't really fit into the criteria that most of these institutions will have, where they don't even look at a company which is below 1,000 crores. So that's if this company is able to continue to meet its capability and guidance, that's another big trigger down the line 2 years, which may happen, that institutions will start showing interest. Recently, Nuvama covered, by the way, I think last week or week before, Nuvama covered Shree Ganesh. That was the first major brokerage house or institution that I had seen covering this company. So maybe the interest will pick up gradually, but right now it doesn't really fit into the criteria of the institutions for taking a stake.
Okay, Shekharji.
Okay, thank you, Shekharji. I think
Thank you, sir.
very nice presentation.
Shekhar, Rashmi here. The last question.
Yeah, Rashmi.
From the investor point of view, if I ask, like, why should I be invested in this company when I have other companies doing so well?
Right.
What would be your...
Yeah, absolutely perfect question, right? I mean, there are two schools of thought. So, I have Sridhar, I just come across, and I have a couple of more friends as I saw the participants list in this call. So, 3 years ago, Rashmi, I used to play around companies with a 5-year window, hang on to them even in their downtime and all that. But, I have changed my investing philosophy over the last 12, 15 months because I realized that the market itself has changed, right? So if you are in a momentum sector, there's a good chance some company will give you quick 50, 60, 70. And if you are lucky, maybe 2x, 3x, or so, like the way we have seen the last 1 year, the power space or EMS space, so on and so forth. So my humble opinion for investors with smaller capital, I think a good chunk of our portfolio, probably 80% of our portfolio should be in the momentum place only. I shouldn't really put a 10% of my allocation in Shree Ganesh. I shouldn't right now because company is not going to give you returns. So your capital might be locked there. Now, having said that, there are times where you come across companies with excellent management and where you could visualize how the company will be able to grow over the following 5-7 years, right? Typically, it's not so easy when we look at smaller companies that which company will sustain, which company will be able to do well, which company has good management because of the lack of information, right? So my philosophy is that 80 to 90% of my allocation will always stay in the momentum play. When I say momentum, not a trading momentum, but rather sectoral momentum. But the 10%, I would love to keep building, keep accumulating the companies which have the potential to be a big players in the future, right? I mean, for some, the big play could be a 20x, for some it could be 10x. I mean, that we can't necessarily quantify. But in my view, Shree Ganesh falls into that bucket where whenever it offers me an opportunity to add at a much discounted price, I keep adding, and down the line 3 years, I'll see a difference. But should this be your number one allocation? Absolutely not. You are 100% right there.
Yeah, thank you.
I can add to it, Rashmi. So every person could have different strategies. So some people accumulate the stocks in stage 1, and some people buy in stage 2. Now you have to buy based on, or one person has to buy based on what is their strength basically. So every person's strength could be different. And this is a kind of a company which is moving into stage 1. Possibly it should not go down below 500 rupees. And between 500, 600 rupees, it should consolidate, creating a stage 1 over the next few quarters. That's how I see it. But the stage 2 might come later on when the new molecule will come or the new project will come to them basically. So it's up to the each individual person how they want to play it.
Yeah, thank you, Puneet. Thank you, Shekhar. Absolutely loved the presentation. Actually, this answer is, this question is to myself also because I have a similar presentation next week. And I was just thinking like, what exactly will be the perspective of an investor? So you just answered that. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Look forward to your presentation.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, so in the interest of time, we will move to the next presentation. Thank you, Shekharji, once again. So,
thank you, sir. Thanks, everyone.
So, Rajesh, I made you the co-host. Can you start sharing?
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, just a minute. Is my screen visible?
Not yet.
Let me reshare. Is it visible now?
Yeah, it is visible now.
So thank you, Puneet. I joined Alpha Learners Group. Then occasionally I used to post. Then I think Puneet made me one of the presenters. So I also write my blog. I started my investing journey 4 years back. And it took me some time. There is a famous Harvard research which says that if you spend 10,000 hours, you become expert. And by 23, and I spent close to 10,000 hours. And I, like most of you, it will be life learning process. But the framework in my mind at least is now very clear. So any company I target, maybe except turnarounds, I look for 100% CAGR. And any of you can use a screener and then just use the last 3 years 100% CAGR. So they are close to 500 plus stocks. Now, what it does is that if you go to Ramesh Damani speech, what he says that 20% if you grow earning every year, then every 3 year double, and then 20 years you get 100 bagger. Now, if the 100% CAGR happens, typically in 5 years you will get 100 bagger. You can get early also. And some of the stocks I picked, I was lucky also. I was listening to the previous speaker and he said rightly, and I think the greatest investors you see is that what Warren Buffett says that he started with charts and all that. And then he said that he found out that ultimately it's the function of the cash flows and the earnings. So I have included some technical also because that was the request from, but I am fundamental investor and I feel that immense wealth can be created if we focus on the fundamentals and we don't get swayed by the short-term circuits or maybe 60%, 70% gain because this is our time. And so the graph first, why I put it this itself. So I've just taken a simple projection of their EPS. without looking at any change in capital structure, which will happen. I know. I mean, all of us know that they will come with the additional rights of preferential, so maybe bonus and split. But just for the simplicity purpose, I have taken their IPO price and 100% CAGR, the margin they have given in their transcript that is going to remain. So this is how it is going to be. So if you see straight away, it looks like the 100 bagger just by 2030. And just to bring back everybody's memory, I keep writing in the group. I see that many investors, they are wiser than me, experienced than me, but they chase elephants. And I define elephants as the company which are going at 20 to 30% CAGR, which is fine. I think if your capital is very high, that will give you. But most of the retail investors, I think their allocation is less than 10 crore. This is what I believe 10 crore for the middle class is needed. This is my honest view, because your decent flat will cost you 3 crore in any metro cities now. So for that, you have to chase the bigger goals. And because already there are 500 plus companies, then we go to the red flags. I think very nice template Puneet had presented, that you remove the red flags, you remove the management whom you don't trust, and then you remove again the depending upon the input prices. So you will be close to, still I believe that the universe will be close to 100 companies which are going to be 100% CAGR. Now, are we wise enough to locate there? That is what I'll try to do. And this is my learning has been the last, like I said, 3-4 years. Professionally, I'm senior vice president in KPIT. I started investing very late, and this is one of the biggest regrets of my life. Hopefully, I am now late 40s. Next couple of decades, like India, I will make it up. So this is what we will do, the templates. So business, promoters, SWOT, and the typical template. But I started with something more meaningful for everybody, that why this is India's century. And if you want to read, there's a famous Goldman Sachs report, which says by 2075, I shared in the group, that India is going to be 75 trillion economy, and which will be the number 2 at that time, not on PPP basis, on the nominal basis. On the PPP basis, I think we'll cross US most probably in the 20 years itself. Now, K. Subramaniam, when he wrote the book India at 100, so he has given the projections. I've just taken his logic. I've done not applied my mind at all. And this looks to me bullish scenario. And to all investors, my first recommendation that you should be bullish. I will rather, again, Charlie Munger used to say that I will rather be optimist and then a little bit fail than I'll be pessimist and be absolutely right, because you want to enjoy the process. Now, currently, we know that India GDP size is 4 trillion. And how he has come up these numbers is that all of us know the 72 principle, right? So basically, when you hit 72, you double. So he has taken the GDP growth rate at 8%, consumer price inflation at 5%, and dollar depreciation at 1%. So 8 plus 5, 13, minus 1, 12. So every 6 years, India is going to double the GDP. So basically, in the next 24 years, there's going to be 4 doublings. And that is why you see it's going, right? So 57 trillion by 2047 I have taken. Now the GDP per capita is, because population growth is rate India is declining. So you see the GDP growth is much, much higher. Now, why I wanted to start with that all of us in the investing, again, we look for mega trends and we look for tailwinds. I think India itself is a mega trend. And this has happened a couple of times in the world history. So it's not that we are doing for the first time. If you see the China, what it from 1990 to 2000, in Japan, we did from 1972 to 1992-3. I think they have followed the same trajectory. So whichever sector we choose, I think if some opportunities, I think previous speaker said that EMS, sustainability, these are the bigger growth potential. And I look back at my own portfolio, I think some of the stocks, and we are lucky, I picked the 2 SMEs which have been the biggest winner of the last. And year itself, I picked the Insulation and Bondada. Bondada I picked exactly on the listing day at 149, and all of us know what it has done. And Insulation also, I picked it at 142 and kept building the position. I think Srivari is a good piece for me to learn investing also, because it has, the share price has hardly moved at all. And I'm not worried. I think my investing horizon, again, I look at the greatest in India, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. He was the one of the rare who used to put all 3 together, right? So he used to do FNO, he used to do trading, and he used to do investing. And he says that in investing, his time horizon is minimum 3 years. So that is what I have learned. I'm not in a hurry to see the share price movement. Now, going back to the business of Srivari Spices. So basically, this is a company which is headquartered in Hyderabad. And this I have taken from their investor presentation. management looks pretty hungry. If you go and see the 2 investor call they have done, and they have been fairly aspirational on how they are going to launch the new offerings, as well as they are going to penetrate more markets. So they are targeting 2 more states penetration. And what they call is the differentiator is the safflower oil. Product launch has been a little bit delayed. This 15 masala they wanted to launch, I think somewhere around September, October. It got delayed by 2 months. Similarly, flour they wanted to launch by the summer. It looks like it's going to be February. From the sourcing to the final funnel, right now the most of the revenue comes from B2B, but they are going to more focus on direct to consumer, which is a high margin business. And the right side pie chart, if you see, is the split of the current revenue. So 40% comes from spices and masalas. Masala is basically the mix and this is the atta. Now the new products they are going to do, which is the oil, and they also are building a new capacity which is going to meet their export standard. So I have, while the factors what the 100% CAGR they have given, I assume that once we trust management, then no, we cannot be. I think we have to give them a little bit time also. It's again a one promoter-led company, and one of the red flags or risk I see in typical SMEs, and I have learned it the hard way also, that when you go to the very small companies and dependent on one promoter, one company name I will not take. The CEO was saying that it's going to be 10x. And after the listing, I don't know what happened. So because of the sudden heart attack, the person died. And now they have brought the wife into the board just because they want to retain the promoter control. This is another irony. I keep saying that India is getting held back because of this mindset of the promoters. I think we need to be a little bit more professional. So this is the risk I see, in fact, but the promoter is pretty hungry. And you see, he answers all the questions. And this is one of the company where you send a question and you can just see in Twitter also. Any retail investor will ask any questions, they are courteous enough to respond. Now it's again the SWOT framework. So if you look at, it's not what they are telling to do, what they have done also. So you look at this disclaimer, and last 3 years they have delivered 100% growth in earnings. Promoters unplaced holding and very aspirational and hungry management, and also transparent also. On the downside, if you look at the analyze their financials, so receivables are a little bit high, debtor days also are high, and negative cash flow from operations. This is again in most of the SMEs. Once they, I think their growth improves and their credibility improves, I've seen this turns it into it's like the duck turning to the swans. A management team dependency on few individuals I already shared, and they are still concentrated in one state. I believe that 1 to 3 to 5 to whole India, it will happen over a decade if they are hungry enough and they are able to forge partnerships. And this is where the opportunity that the product also going to be expanded more new markets, including exports also they will do. And what happens typically in any country right now, India is very price conscious. But if you go to the slightly higher income, middle class and upper, then everybody gets attracted by a brand. So then I see that the shift, the market structure itself will shift. And that is why they are also now focusing to direct to consumer. On the threat side, of course, it's a very fragmented market, intensely competitive, more on the price side. So that's going to be a challenge for them. Rice, raw materials price typically fluctuates, and this is for all agricultural business which is dependent. But what I see is that they are trying to improve the sourcing also. And later on, I will compare this with one more masala company. We'll see that their operating margin has been improving consistently. Their material cost has been coming down significantly. And of course, the macro level, if economic downturns come, then all of us can suffer. Something can happen at like COVID. We look at the risks typically if I see. So I remember a quotation by Howard Marks that there was a one horse race, and then one farmer got to know that this is only one horse running, and he bet the entire house. And that horse jumped the fence and went out of the race. So anything can happen. That is why the risk management is so difficult, because even one horse race, how anybody can lose. So that is for the overall the risk management side. The growth trigger side, this is I've taken the extract from their presentation as well as the response to the retail investors. What I get found on social media, I have attended their both transcripts. So there is a seasonality in the business. Typically H2 we see is 50 to 60% more than the H1. This is again the November their release that they have launched these new spices, and they are also planning expansion in Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. And this is the last transcript, which again started floating on social media, and then I started digging deeper. So I took entry in this stock almost 4 months back, and I think I I entered a little bit. I think in somewhere above 300, it went to 270. I took more. 250. I took more. It went to 200. Then I took really heavy position, and I think now it's currently over of my 5% allocation. So what if you see that what he has said is that the 100% year-on-year growth they are targeting till 2030, earning growth. And the last part, a screenshot I have taken is that because they said that they are going to launch the VOL, which is going to be different and unique and which will improve their margin and positioning. So they responded to a retail investor that they are planning the conference call in the month of February, which again I like. So basically, if you see, typically the SMEs declare result in 6 months, and half of the SMEs don't have the investor call. And I have been part of the many of the investor call of the mid-cap companies also, and the kind of the questions they plant. So you can see that how differential the investor is. Already the many of the promoters' ego is very swollen. And some of the investors ask the question as if we place them on the guard. And then I clearly make it out that no, this is some sort of the planting there. But here, like I said, they are humble enough and honest enough to respond to all queries. So I like that not only they are going to do, but they will update us also on the continuous basis. Now the growth triggers, if you continue to see, so overall outreach, they are improving. So 15,000 to 50,000. Then again, the government institutions, which is 20% in this space, and they have hardly any presence there. The 100% export oriented, they are planning, and again, it will meet the quality standards for the developed nations. This is already in process. And this is another, I have taken their response to one of the retail investors. And this is again one of the downsides, that it's not a very capital efficient business. That means in the beginning, they will need to raise capital, either already they have raised one rights issue. But they are also trying to improve the channels through which they can reach to the final consumers. And they are trying the local, and they are also trying the all India presence markets, including a big basket, DMart, Amazon. All of you can go and search. But the point is that I think the brand quality and everything can get a little bit better. And that is why we see on social media also the coverage and the rating. It's not up to the level which we can expect. This is a valuation which we see. So again, I will pause here for a minute. People can go through the table. So what I have done, I have taken their historical projections and I have put it in a very simple format so that anybody can understand. So I have taken their earning per share, again, like I said, without any change in the capital structure. P, and then just you multiply, you get the share price. I say, why I said on the conservative side? Because, I mean, why if you look at the biggest wealth creators like Infosys and others, they became 10,000 baggers. So that is the long-term holding. The effect of while we say that the bonus and split doesn't help, but if you just keep holding from the initial level, that is where the multiplier effect comes. I don't focus on technicals. I mean, I have listened to many people and they do like, but like I said, I totally avoid the attention to price. It can deviate anybody. And I will go back to, I think again, there was a question, then how do you build this mindset that, because the share price, if you see, is down in fact. And I just took the simple moving average. So if you see the last 6 months to 5 months to 3 months to 1 month to 10 days to everywhere is downing only. You see 278 to 217. So that's, I don't know what people call them. But I've not been able to decipher what is the reason why these stock prices move in this term. And I keep listening to many of the TV journalists and the gurus, and I don't think anybody has figured it out. Simply, I think, but still people do it. For me, like I said, I think it's not that what they are going to do in H2, but I will look at the walk the talk, and I already see the spread in the markets and spread also in the offerings they are making. The valuation is pretty tempting, and this is what I will compare with the now another company. So Madhusudan Masala guidance is 30 to 40%. And if you can just see, this is again, I've taken the screenshot from screener. So if you see the operating margin, for the Srivari spices, 7% to 16%, and for Madhusudan masala also it has improved, but the gap still is there in the terms of percentage. The material cost, if we see, is declining. That means their sourcing effectiveness is improving. Maybe the pricing power also is improving. The employee cost almost kind of flat despite the growth. And PAT, if we see, like what I was sharing, that in the historically also we see in the last 3 years, their CAGR has been more than 100%. And that gives the confidence that it's not that what they are saying, but what they have done. If we can compare the ratios, I mean, typically everywhere, few things to see. It's a stock P is 20, Madhusudan is 26. I believe with this growth, if they deliver, they can go to 40p very easily. Return on capital employed is pretty healthy. Return on equity also is pretty healthy. Return over 1 year, you see, is 1%. In fact, it's become negative. Okay, just look at the price. And similarly, market capitalization, very small company. And this is one of the risks I have seen, because what SEBI has done. So why insulation and bond data kind of became whatever 20 bagger or 30 bagger in a year? Because at that time, the ESM framework not in place for SMEs. Now it has come. So the moment it moved, whatever the framework, they have 70% they put into the 2% ESM2 and the bidding and auction. So the acceleration is going to be not that rapid, even if they do exceptionally well. So we need to build a greater patience here, which I have. And there is no other way. I mean, any investor who wants to make money, I think the alpha comes in the end. So it's 50 bagger becomes by 29, and 2030, if it doubles, then another 50 bagger come in 29 to 30. So 50 bagger took 6 years, whatever, and another 50 bagger just took the 7th year. So because the alpha comes, and the name of the group also is alpha, because it comes in the end, so our mindset also be to hold as long as the earning growth is there. Moment and a structural earning growth declines, then we should shift. We should not be paying too much attention, I believe, is to 1 quarter or half yearly fluctuations can happen typically in any industry. Promoter holding is pretty good, and all promoter holding is unpledged, like I shared also in the strength side. Debt is manageable. So debt equity ratio is 0.7. Now, typical some of the, at least I could figure it out, that they need to improve their bargaining capacity. If you go to the Potter 5 forces, right? So what they say is it looks to me that there is whenever the higher data days is there, that means the positioning can get better. Execution wise, there have been sub delay, and there is also what happens. Also, I've seen the people have become now so much price conscious. I think one of the most famous investors from the micro cap investing is Gunwant Bad. I have listened to him a couple of times. What I like his comment is that there are many long-term investors in India as there are white tigers. That means they are very fair. What is investment mindset is to focus on business, not on the price. And I see that at least in my network, at least I have spoken to 10,000 people whenever I interact. But hardly anybody, when the price drops by 40-50%, everybody panics. And that is the time to, in fact, build the position. There's another joke going on social media, right? That your vegetable prices drop by 20%, you buy more. 20% drop in restaurants, you eat more, movies everywhere. But the share price moment they drop by 20 to 30%, you sell existing also. So because it plays on our brain. So that's a challenge. But yeah, last 1 year has been pretty, I think, difficult for anybody not with the investing mindset. I see many tweets on the social media also. I sometimes occasionally I also post that I sold at 20% loss, 30% loss. And what the people were expecting, miracle in 1 year. So conclusion wise, I think I would like to share that typically my hunting process itself starts with the management guidance, and then I go and see what is the capacity to deliver, and is there any red flag. So it's a very aspirational and transparent management. They are also, like I said, focusing not only one aspect I have taken, but also they are exploring the different markets, also the quality and the risk of ESM2, I said, that is very high because the stocks goes up, then the KB will come down. I would have liked to spend more time on the presentation, but I think I am still in full-fledged corporate role, which will continue for 1 year. So I could not spend as much time as I would have liked to enlighten to the group. So with this, I think I have come to the conclusion of the presentation, and I will be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Rajesh. We have a few questions for you. So this 100% growth basically is management is telling, right? Or you have certain reasons based on their business specifically?
Puneet, are you speaking? We are not able to hear you.
It's very feeble voice.
Sorry, I was a little far away. Now you can hear me?
Yeah, better. Yes.
Yeah. So the question is, this 100% growth is coming from management talk only, or you have some business case basically here?
Yeah. So basically, what this it is basically the extract exactly from the transcript. That no, they said that looking at the potential and the consolidation in the market is what they are looking at. This is not an order book driven business because most of it is an institutional sale where it happens. Typically, their presence also is not. It is there, but I think that hold is not that much. So it's management guidance and backed by action. Like I said, whatever they have said, mid 1-2 month lag they have delivered, and also the past track record. So last 3 years they have done it. I don't have any reason to believe they cannot pull it off.
So, but how they will achieve it? Just by supplying to the bigger players or building their own showcases, basically?
Yeah. So if you look at currently in one market, they are now delivering mostly in Telangana, Hyderabad also to be very precise. Now, if you, I just look at the million plus cities. So they are delivering to one city and they are targeting 4 more cities, and there are 45 million plus cities. So this itself, if we see, I don't know how many they will be able to cover, but even if they are covered to half also, it's going to be 20x from the geographical spread itself. Now the line of the products also, like I said, they had atta and spices. Now they are coming to the mixes, and they are also targeting the government institutions, export units, and also they are going to the safflower oil. The double layer defined oil, what they said, there's going to be differentiation. So I think that if we marketing, typically we say the growth comes from the new offerings and new markets. And the fourth quadrant will be when you do both. I see them expanding both geographical outreach within India, outside India, as well as the offering, the products, also different products, they will keep doing it. And I see while they are not small companies, when they are that hungry, one of the learning my mind has been that the management will keep switching attention wherever they see opportunities. So I see them becoming spreading more beyond the spices, atta, and oil also.
Okay. So yeah, guys, forum is open for Q&A. If you guys have more questions, please feel free to ask him.
Hi, Rajesh. Sendil here. Hello.
Yeah, please.
Thanks for the presentation. In the slide, one of the slide you showed the comparison of Madhusudan masala and Srivari spices. The employee cost of Madhusudan masala is only 1%, whereas for Srivari it is 4.3% plus. Any reason for such a big difference? Is it due to revenue scale or any other reason?
Yeah, just give me 1 minute. Right now itself, I've logged into screen now. So
yeah.
One of the reasons what I have seen in the SME cases, and that one more company which has at least created wealth for me and going to create immense wealth is Kody Digital. Now, what happens? The full-time employee and subcon employee, they treat differently. So Kody Digital also, one of the things people said is a fraud company because less than 10 employee, right? And what they in the investor call, they said that why we go less than 10 because the Provident Fund or Employee State Insurance Corporation or gratuity, none of the norms apply to you. Now, just give me 1 minute. Let me see the.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, their cost has been 4% and their cost is 1%. Maybe I don't know. Typically in the manufacturing side, we say it's 4 to 6%. So Srivari looks okay to me. Madhusudan, why it is able to keep so low, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
this, yeah.
See,
This
one reason would be Madhusudan Masala has achieved the scale in the revenue with the same example with this, for the same 20 people working. Madhusudan Masala is able to deliver a higher revenue, whereas Srivari Spaces with the same 20 people, for example, is able to deliver only a lower revenue. For example, that could be one case, but I'm not sure whether that is the reason here. Maybe we can dig deep to see why it is.
we can ask, I mean, after the call, this, I'm not invested in Madhusudan Masala, but I can ask them the question. And
Yeah,
then
please.
maybe if they are doing something, I can pass on to the management of Srivari. So
Exactly.
one of the things I have learned is that as an investor, management, when they are transparent, they are also looking for ideas. And because we are owner of the company, though sometimes we don't act as the owner of company. So this is a good point. Let me get input from Madhusudan, and if there is some insight, I'll pass to Srivari.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Rajesh.
Maybe it is contract manufacturing they are starting to. That's where they are showing less employee cost.
Possible. So the
Possible.
rest of the cost maybe goes directly to the margin. May not be shown in the employee cost also. That possibility also is there. Yeah.
There was a comment that my holding is 1.2%. No, I think that I'm not still in that league. 1.2% will make it. No, I think maybe in a couple of years down the line. I think above 5% stake I have only in this very small SME, and that is also very risky. Other than that, I think above 1% I don't have any SME. So I have not reduced. And typically, like I said, in last 1 year, what I have learned is that I never sell in hurry. All my sell decisions have been regret. Most of the sell decisions. So I don't want to regret anything. My horizon has become now 3 to 5 years. And again, I want to bring an anecdote that people who are in hurry also. So some patience you need to have. Benjamin Graham, who was the guru of Warren Buffett in the early 60s, when he's wound up his partnership, then he came to a very simple rule. Then 2 years, if the stock is not giving 50%, then I will exit it. I think that's a fair thing. At least we need to, I mean, if you're an investor, sometimes we get lucky, like I said. I mean, I could not believe my eyes when the insolation became 30x in 15 months. But you see 5 months, it's doing nothing. It doesn't matter. It looks to me still 500 baggering. So I think we need to have patience. I'm not going to sell Srivari. I mean, even if they don't deliver in H2 also, unless there is something disaster they are doing, I think I will hold. Not only this, I will hold all my stuff.
Rajesh, hello.
Yeah, please.
I have just one question about the customer stickiness. Like if they are entering into a new market, why would a regular customer shift to this brand? Is there any model or something new they have come up with?
So what they said in the transcript is that at least in Hyderabad, what they tried to do is that they had something, the moving vehicles, and then that they were able to capture the mind size. I believe is that what the exact word is that for the quality processes. I think if they get some, which they said that they are going to get that certification done by from the because the out export, the quality norms are different, and I'm sure all of you have seen what has happened by this Singapore government for Everest. They
Yes,
said that
yes.
right. So I believe that once this plant is able to meet that international auditing standard and they are able to do, then their positioning improves. Similarly, for the oil, also what they said, right? At least the intent is that they make it, and this is the first of its kind in India. This is what they said in the call. So I am also banking on them that no, the management, at least the orientation is to go to very high quality. And also, if you compare with the, like I already showed the comparison with Madhusudan, so their margin also is high. So their positioning, at least in the local market, is good. I hope they are able to sustain it and replicate it.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Rajesh, you are able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So one question is, see, there's such a big opportunity, right? 100% growth for so many years. But on the other hand, the promoter is reducing holding. So what is your take on it? So promoter can easily take a loan and do it. Equity dilution is the highest cost right here.
Yeah, so this also I looked at the equity. So in the rights, especially, they did not do it looks to me that when they did the rights, they did not they did not have the capital. This is what at least I could figure it out. Again, I can get a response from them. But after dilution also it's 58% and not unplayed. But that's a fair point. I think it's a capital, like I said, my understanding is that they will take some time to become cash flow positive, and at that time they may not need that much of a capital. The typically SMEs, one of the challenge has been the capital because they don't get the easily financing also from the banks. I mean, I had my own company, I can say. Typically, it's easy to say. Now the government interest is easy, but still the working capital or the getting loans from the banks, it's very challenging. And it comes at a higher cost because the risk premium is high. Now, my guess is that they did not have the capital, but when I sent a mail to them, this is a good question. I'll ask them also.
Sure, sure. So any other questions by audience to Rajesh?
I think everybody is busy for waiting for lunch. So I didn't want to be.
Also, Rajesh, couple of these are basics. The debt also seems to be a little on the higher side, and the book value also seems to be a little on the higher side. For that, like, I mean, sorry, the price to book value is very high, like 213 is the price. Book value is like 30, like 7x. So I'm just asking any thought on that. Maybe I missed, you already covered this.
No, I mean, like I said, debt, if you see the historical trend, so, and because they are in the expansion phase, so they have managed now if you are able to dig deep, so for the close to 2 crore is the trailing 12-month is the interest outgo, and that 20 crore is looks to me the debt. So 10% interest, so they have managed it reasonably well only. Now the historical trend, if we see, so yeah, debt, if you see, has increased in the balance sheet from the 13 to 19 to 20. Now, if we just split it, so long-term borrowings have declined, but yeah, it looks to me that working capital because of that has increased from 8 to 14 to 16. Now, like I said, I again need to get answer from them only that how they are going to manage. It's they said to their credit that it's a capital intensive, and I think that till they turn into the positive cash flow, which may take, in my view, at least a couple of years, we see this capital structure. This is my guess, at least.
Okay.
Okay, guys. I think the other questions we can put on the chat. In meanwhile, I will put polls directly here. So I would be launching first audience poll, and that will really really be useful for all of you to understand whether you have done it correctly or not, listening part. So please see on the screen if you get something from the poll site. Please confirm me once you see it.
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah, please go ahead and put it. So the poll has 4 questions from the 4 companies today, and it's the new thing which we are trying for this ALD. Okay, so this is on the poll side. Then we have a ratings for the presenters today. So just give me a minute. I think there is some issue in the polls, basically looks like. So we are only able to see the. Are you guys able to see the results of the poll?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Punit.
Okay, but other one is not coming. I think the ratings part is not coming. Let me just check it on the ratings part. Yes, somehow the ratings part is not coming. Okay, so for ratings, I will maybe put a separate one and then we can discuss on the ratings. Any other thing which you guys wanted to discuss or share? We have 2 minutes, but overall a good start for ALD. And the next session would be on next Saturday. So same time we will join back. So we'll close it here, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Puneet. Thank you to all the presenters.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Puneet.
It's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.